Phil Hellmuth and Antonio Esfandiari kicked off High Stakes Duel with a 119-hand heads-up battle. Tonight, they're back in Las Vegas for round 2. Bigger stakes, same personalities.
You catch me there, I'm toast. But you're not gonna catch me. He's a little steamed up.
I'm not steamed up at all.
Oh.
I already know the future. I told you I'd play you anytime.
I'm ready.
Anytime.
I'm ready. He's just trying to give me the chips.
I'm not letting you run me over.
Ooh, wedge that horseshoe. Jeez. Good luck, sir.
Good battle, bro. I know you're re-challenging me.
Yeah, official, correct.
Okay.
You can count on that.
The last time these two veteran poker prospectors faced off, it was Phil Hellmuth who struck gold. Now they return to the mine once more to hunt one another's treasure. Welcome to another edition of the High Stakes Duel. It's heads up, no limit hold'em with 20-minute levels starting at 100, 200. Winner stays. The loser has the first option to challenge, and if that loser decides to decline, a new challenger has 30 days to take up the fight. Welcome inside PokerGO Studio here at Aria Resort and Casino. Ali Nejad alongside my partner in crime, Nick Schulman, who you may have witnessed earlier on during the weigh-in. And Nick, climate felt pretty relaxed out there between these two. What are you looking forward to this evening in this match?
It didn't feel that relaxed. I mean, I know what you mean, but you could tell, you could feel the tension. And I mean, let's see how it unfolds. Delighted to be here. There's a quick call from Hellmuth.
Philly boy! Let's dance, Philly boy.
Jack 8 offsuit, failing to connect with the Ace-King 7 board for Antonio. A larger failure for Hellmuth, however.
I mean, Antonio, you got the
go.
watch, you got the... Now, what kind of shirt is that? That's a nice shirt. I like that. It looks really good on you. Where's it from?
It's an Australian brand. Well, the store's in Australia. I'm pretty sure it's Australian. It's called Calibre.
Calibre.
They make good shirts.
Yes, what?
I have a strong suspicion, Nick, that that's simply
Can
caliber
you
spelled
not beat
different.
me again, Phil?
But what do I know?
No, I'm serious.
Calibre, I like it. And I
mean,
like...
if I lose 2 in a row, it's really going to sting.
I like the gold chain, too. That looks nice, too.
It's not gold chain. This is like a $5 necklace thing.
Yeah, it's
one night we
stylish,
all
though.
wore it out, and it's Ben June inspired.
400.
Ooh, newstrategy.com, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. I like it.
Is that the black 9-6
Ray,
off?
what do we think
twice in a
about
row to
that?
start?
We got to realign our thinking here. I'm confused. Check.
Eights holding up, staring at 1 over card.
500.
Okay. No pair, no call. That's my motto, Paul. No pair, no call.
Well, 1 hand apiece in the early going. The first round between these two, Nick,
snug.
was played on July 29th.
You know, 1-2.
Amazing.
Round 2 now, 56 days later. As you see the prize pool, $200,000. Each player ponied up $50K in the first match, now $100K, and it can get pretty big pretty quickly. In order to bank your cash, however, you must win at least 3 matches in a row. So none of that quitting while you're ahead business.
Right.
Domination must be asserted. Antonio taking his turn with the pocket pair, a couple of nickels.
Come on, one time. One time, Ray.
Dark check out of Hellmuth, who defended
saying it
with the
right,
queen
right?
3 and
Right.
flops bottom pair here.
He checks. Wait for it. It's coming.
I said check before the flop.
Oh,
Check.
sorry. Well, we're both looking at you.
500.
Feeler.
Call.
Interesting. Really? You really just have it, huh?
Check.
Check.
Seemingly dark second check from Phil after he Called the $500 C-bet. Now a check back from Antonio. Board pairs on the river.
675.
And Phil's betting the worst hand here.
He is kind of for value maybe against ace high.
7 ball is good, Phil. How can I beat a 7?
675.
Oh, and it
Take
does
it.
get
Nice
through.
hand.
Yep.
Very nice. Okay.
So not quite as passive as we might have been tempted to believe, the line that Phil took there. How do you feel about this whole dark checking business he engages in, by the way? The man who hails from Wisconsin, 15-time bracelet winner. Are you a fan?
The dark check is okay sometimes. You know, talking to Phil before today and just in general, he has his own style. He you know, he'll sprinkle it in and then he'll lead out of nowhere. So as part of his overall game, sure. I mean,
Do you wear other shirts besides your own?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Well, like if you go to the grocery store, do you wear Phil Hellmuth is the greatest?
No.
Or?
I'll wear my Aria hat to the grocery store, though. That I'll do. Just because it's easier to grab and I'm used to hats, you know?
Call.
No, I get you. I'm a hat guy. Check. I wasn't until a few years ago, and then once I start wearing hats, it's like you don't have to do your hair. It's
Yeah. It's easier.
protect from the sun. It's the nuts.
Couple of 9 highs,
Check.
ragged
Check.
in nature, facing off. Neither connecting with this
500.
ace-high flop. Looks pretty
Little
familiar.
overbet, huh? All right, Philly boy, you win that one too. He's just running over me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to take a stand one of these times. Can't let you abuse me like this, Phil. My kids are gonna watch this someday. You know? You know, let's give him a dark raise. He deserves it.
here we go.
Is that allowed,
Dark 500.
Ray? That's allowed?
I just
Yeah.
told you.
Is it encouraged or what do you think?
Raise
Frowned
above
upon?
500.
I want to fold for 300 so bad, which is weird because everybody else, all the other poker players are thinking it's a dark bet, I need to raise it, you know? I'm thinking the opposite.
Nice little ace-5 suited. Antonio's going to wake up to here. Oh, but 2 black 7s for Phil. And how will he react to the dark raise?
Call.
Raise. Oh, I can't. Oh, shucks. I can't believe I woke up with this hand, to be honest.
Check.
Check.
Oh my.
Can't believe I woke up with this hand after a dark raise. It's
Top
pretty
set
scary,
against a
actually,
wheel draw.
how that happens.
Phil quite pleased to see that $500 C-bet, and now the check raise.
1,500 more?
Yes.
With the gut shot ace high, we'd love to have a back door, but we're in there for Antonio.
Call.
Oh, sometimes you gotta just bleed away. It's the way it goes.
Certainly would have preferred to have a diamond on board just for the backdoor flush prospects as he swings and misses on the turn. An extra 1K being squeezed off his stack.
Yeah, now it starts to get weird. See what sizing Hellmuth goes with. Ace high, it does have some showdown in its own right. Addition to the straight draw.
Ace 3,500. 3,500.
Comes with 3,500, and it's a little bit of a decision. I think we call. Hope to hit, win sometimes, and in check lines, maybe pair up, but
3,500.
Well, Antonio must be thinking the ace is also a good card in addition to obviously the 4.
and just the dynamics of the whole dark raise make it weird, but nice fold. I mean,
That
pair
hurt.
out's no good.
Nice
Wow.
hand.
I mean, that was unbelievable. Wow. I was rooting for you to hit whatever you needed on the turn. Here, you can just have it.
Maybe not whenever you needed, Ali, but
Yeah, 4 might have made some fireworks come out of that seat. As we recap round 1, Esfandiari was ahead early, 2.5 to 1 chip lead. The tide turned in hand 78 when he called with 4th pair. Thought he
Yeah.
was sniffing out a
Seven.
bluff.
Yep.
Obviously,
Wow.
that was
Top
not
set,
the case.
Antonio.
No problem. Why would there be a problem? Check.
Check.
God, I should have made it 1,500 before the flop. You're going to re-raise with ace 5.
Of course.
Oh my
Are you kidding me?
I might bust you on the hand.
Ace, Queen, Jack, Rainbow here. Gut shot Broadway draw for Esfandiari. Total airball rather for Phil. Until of course he hits a 5, and they're both playing the board kickers. Goes check, check, and now bottom 2 runner for Phil.
500.
500.
You know, weird spot for Antonio.
You
Fourth
really
pair
checked
here.
the jack 3 times, Phil? Really? All right, jack 9 or something.
Ten seconds.
All right. Jack is good.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Jack is good.
I did not have a jack.
You may have already noticed, if you're new to the format, that tablet on the felt
Wow,
there.
I should have made it 1,500
shot
with
clock.
the sevens. Wow.
You have
I would
30
have raised you
seconds
four
to
shot
make your
ace 5 suited,
decisions.
ace 5 of diamonds. On the button. Dark raise. I mean, of course I'm going to raise you. Then you're going to flop it, and there's a lot of money in the pot, and I'm going to fight a little bit more probably.
Yeah, you're going to fire.
Well, I'm glad an ace didn't come on the turn. Ooh.
Running 5-5 was a really bad card for you. Running 5-5 could end it maybe.
How about just a 4 one time? Just one time. Raise.
Raise up to 500.
How nice would that have been?
Call.
That would have been an exciting hand late in the match.
Standard 500 a man. Antonio the Razor on the button.
Check.
10 Jack 9, a great flop for Hellmuth here.
500 in the dark.
Back 5 in the dark.
Oh. A bit of spice, Ali.
Bottom pair in the open ender and the dark bet as Esfandiari hits the 5 and simply releases. Each player, by the way,
Oh,
Nick, starts
man.
with
The
5-time
God, it was a
extensions.
decision. I was running out of time.
Give them an extra
Make it
minute.
1,500 so you can re-raise with a lot of lighter hands.
And the minutes
limp.
go by
How'd you like
quickly.
the flop? 7 deuce 3.
20
Crazy.
minutes per level.
That okay for you?
Yeah, and when you started talking, I can't believe I have a hand this strong. I was thinking, ooh, maybe he has 10s. Woohoo! You know, at this stage, it's amazing if you can win 10,000 in one hand, right?
Yeah.
They really set this match up to last.
Little
See you in
posturing
2
from
hours,
both
I'm
men,
thinking.
Ali.
Check.
Call.
What's your feeling, Nick? Is this skewing toward extra long, deep structure, or is there some turbo
Well,
element to it?
as Phil said, it's a good structure. It's a slow structure, but
Check.
the blinds will raise as the day goes on. But yeah, there is a lot of play here, which is always nice. Hellmuth with the 2 pair. Esfandiari with
Check.
5 high.
Check.
No spade to speak of. Not sure what Hellmuth's other card is. $300.
I don't think this is going to get it done, Ali. Just based on the strength of that one card, let alone possible dessert. It does get it done. So
Pot was small enough that Phil
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't
Felt like
wanna
you
fight
had
for
some
it.
that time. I don't know.
How does he know?
You say, how does he know when you have nothing
Chips
half?
in front
How
of
does
the
he
camera.
know?
there it is.
good read.
Yeah.
25 one, the quarter one. In front of the camera. Thank you.
Esfandiari's most recent live cash in a heads-up event, Nick, June 7th
You
of
like to say that when you
2016,
have like 5 high. How does he know?
How
when
does
he
he know?
finished
I had
12th.
5 high.
I
the
flopped a pair.
2016
and ended up
World
folding.
Series of
I like
Poker.
that. Yeah.
You folded a pair?
Yeah, sure did.
He has slipped
Crazy
to
daisy.
Raise up to
15th
500.
on Poker's all-time money list, courtesy of the Hendon Mob. At one point, he was at the top of that chart, but has really stepped away from tournament play.
I like you just said 2016.
Mm-hmm.
A little longer than I would
I
have
guess
thought.
I have to pay off 300 there. That's why I checked the pair 3 times.
Or save your money. There's always that.
10-8 suited for Phil.
Call.
Limps in.
This is raisable.
Raise up to 7.
Antonio would agree.
Call.
And Phil seemingly just prepared for the punishment.
Truly a snap call there from Phil. I mean,
And he picks up an open ender on the 2-spade 2-9 and a 7 flop.
$825.
Antonio keeps the lead with north of 50%, and maybe that open ender that you just mentioned, Ali, is compelling Phil to raise. Looks like it is.
Raise up to 2,000.
Comes with a little tickle, and probably will get it done. King 5, no backdoor. Well done.
What are you saying, Philly boy? Yep.
Antonio wants to check that one quite a bit on the flop, although it's weird. Did raise pre after all against a limp.
How many times will the chip lead change? That's the question. It's a long
Maybe
match.
0.
Could change 6, 7 times, right?
Could be 0.
How long did it change last time?
It changed a few times.
A few at least, yeah.
It was actually 14 times last time, Ali. I have that stat right here. 14 lead changes round 1.
And as far as number
Raise
of
it.
hands
Raise up to 5. Call.
with the lead, it was roughly 50-50 out
If I
of the
say Sammy
119
Farha,
hands.
that's just raise, okay?
Check.
Same thing.
Checking duck.
King Jack against Queen 9. Top pair against a gutty.
Of course, a fireworksy card is possible. Form of the Jack. We shall see.
Call.
Check.
Checking duck.
Queen is rather interesting, as now Esfandiari has second pair with a gut shot straight draw. Hellmuth improves to an open ender to go with the best hand, facing a 1,400 bet.
Call.
Phil kind of delighted to call here. Antonio
Check.
pursuing value on the turn. It's reasonable.
Third dark check out of Hellmuth, and he makes Broadway. Does that dark check maybe tempt you just a little bit to try to dismiss some of those King X hands with a barrel here?
It looks like it tempts Antonio a little bit to do it. Perhaps even pursuing some value versus 10x and 5x. I guess value, we're not trying to bluff those hands out because we beat them anyway. I think he's really targeting something like King 6 rather, King 7, maybe that region, or the 10x, 5x stubborn call. But a little bit thin by him, kind of a merge, just a weird sort of who knows.
9,600.
And obviously he's about to get some bad news. And we'll see. Sometimes you bet hero call your way off to a weird one.
And
Bill
the
Jack
ushers
10,
have been dispatched to dismiss this Queen 9.
Yeah, these spots are weird because Phil could have 10x or 5x. He would have played it the same until now, so they're in the range that arrived here. But he does get away.
Good laydown. Did he need to bet the river?
I don't think so. Certainly didn't need to. Need would, mean there's a right and wrong. I would lean towards check heavily, but you see the tail of the tape here. Hellmuth Esfandiari. I think we all sort of know what the deal is, but there are the particulars.
Heavily irrelevant stat line there.
Right. I
In my
mean, well, the
estimation.
born, the age and the born. Both 2 kids, both married. I mean, there it is. Both human beings. Yeah. You get a little wispy when you see that Iran up there, Ali. Does the
The motherland.
the motherland,
beckons.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Couple of trashy ones here.
I don't think I want that on my passport pages. It's a
Check.
Anyway,
Check.
dangerous stamp.
okay, okay.
King, Queen 4, a couple of diamonds. It goes check, check. Ace on
Check.
the turn. Now
Check.
giving Esfandiari a gut shot.
Let's see if Phil bets this card.
Check.
Well, Esfandiari's hit the 6.
200. Call.
9 high.
And he snap calls.
Yeah, he was getting 3 to 1. I mean, you know,
Just
pair's a
200.
pair in Georgia, Ali. Right.
All right, number 2.
Well, we talked about married with 2 kids. That's the goofiest looking photo of him I think I've ever seen in
I
my
wonder what the
life.
context is there.
Was not born here. Immigrated at the age of 8, utilized magic to sort of socialize and gain acceptance. $27 million later, he transitioned into poker, and I'd say it was a good decision.
Right.
I don't know how many
On the
magicians
turn,
out
you
there
might
in
decide to
history
go for
have
it.
cleared
Or
25
you might
million.
spike a 4.
Probably.
Smaller fraternity, I'd say.
Or you might spike a 4.
Call.
To be fair, there's not all that
Raise
many
them.
people that have cleared
I
25
can't.
million in poker.
Right.
I will check.
Check me
Meanwhile, the goods for Esfandiari not connecting with this board, which gives Hellmuth the 2-way straight draw.
Call.
Yeah,
Check.
nice flop for Phil.
13 dot.
Might have some future fold equity and obviously has some cleanish outs.
His check call does not change anything.
Check.
I think we'll see Phil bet almost any card on the river other than a 4 or a deuce.
2 checks on the turn, and now
Wow. No, that's a
a premature,
delayed
yeah.
graphic, yeah. And for Antonio, he has a decision. I think this is callable for him. At least sometimes we beat 4x, 6x. And
I
some of
didn't
the-
like the 8. Phil, I didn't like the 8. 4, 6, turning hand to a bluff, ace, king, overcards.
10 seconds.
All right. Take another one. Nice hand.
Well, so far it's been advantage Hellmuth in these spots.
Yeah, well done. Yeah.
Okay. Blinds out. With a 150 small blind
As he
and
begins to put a
300.
little bit of distance.
A bit, you know. I mean, obviously it's just math. Any of these leads are relevant. And I mean, Antonio's decision there was weird. I think we just look it up sometimes.
Yes, 150, 300.
Those are tough. We should call sometimes. Fold sometimes.
Level 2 is upon us. Blinds at 150 and 300.
Call, 300.
Phil really showed up very focused today. I mean, all jokes aside, when I saw him, he was pretty reserved. I saw him before we sat down.
Call.
You know, he does this thing. He's meditating. I mean, he's taking it very seriously, and Antonio very relaxed. You know, let's just see what happens, this and that. So, I mean, we'll see. Takes this stuff very seriously.
Another swing and a miss for an ace-queen. Back-to-back occasions with similar board texture out there for
Right.
Antonio.
1300.
He is out of position on this occasion. $1,300 follow-through gets called.
And the ace-high overcards on the middling kind of straight boards are just unpleasant, very difficult to navigate. Playing heads up, the ranges are wide. We have some showdown value, but yet we don't really have a future outside of occasionally making trips as our best prospect.
Check.
A lot of guesswork goes into these spots, and Phil will probably be content to check here. Guess not.
Well, not an unpleasant turn for him.
Not at all. I mean, fourth
1500.
pair is still fourth pair, but he does fire, and it's, you know,
He's got that gut shot straight draw.
certainly just reasonable and makes sense, and he's getting called by ace-queen here, so well done. That proby kind of annoying sort of style that he has, he's up to some things.
Check. Check. Show hand.
Pairs are good.
Pair 3.
Shut down on the end as Antonio advises that the pair is good, and as he predicted, he is shown the
Nice
2
hand.
crabs. And Antonio knows how to let Phil know that he tends to get lucky.
I mean,
All I need is
haven't
ace
made- I
high.
haven't made one big hand, not one. You know that?
All I
Not
need is
one.
ace high. You have
I
your
haven't made
perspective.
one big hand. You
Why
make
don't-
boats and boats.
why don't you
and
go on
two
your
pairs
rant?
And sets and sets.
As soon as you're done ranting, I'll
If
talk.
I had your cards, it'd be over by now.
I got a 5.
Kidding me? Are you kidding me? You want to talk about luck? How lucky are you, buddy?
You hit the 5-7 on me also.
Yeah. Same size pot. Yeah.
Raise up to 800.
And that was from the first match, and I
Yeah.
think you rolled that hand
Call.
back to them during the weigh-in.
Yeah.
Trying to stir the pot, Schulman?
Of course. I haven't seen a pot that I'm not looking to stir in a long time, buddy. I mean, it's a weird hand. You know, was Phil going to go for it on the river? I think he might have. I mean, but obviously a salty river for Antonio there. Deuce 6-6-6. We're calling with a deuce. They hit the 5 on the end with 5-7, only having one overcard. You know, it's to the 6 and barreling away, like taking it as a bluff. Obviously, 2 overcards to the deuce. It's just one of those hands. Heads up poker produces a lot of those.
Well, this heads-up poker here in their second confrontation
Bet.
has certainly produced more
Seven,
Phil Hellmuth
8,
W's than
1600.
Esfandiari. And here is Phil with top pair.
Right. And Esfandiari again kind of stabbing, seeing where he's at, with hands that, you know, might consider checking. Third pair. Maybe he has a river plan in mind, but we shall see.
Call.
Terribly.
$1,600
Check
bet
with the
is
river.
called, an extra $3,200 into the middle as these pots increase in size ever so slightly. And maybe it's Esfandiari's turn now as he goes runner, trips.
And I have a weird feeling Phil is not going to enjoy this river very much at all.
What gives you that impression?
Just a weird spidey sense. You know, I can't explain it. Just
3,900.
It's not 39. It's 84.
Oh,
Oh.
8,004.
Oh, quite a bit different.
really is.
Over betting the 6,800 in the middle by a decent margin.
I do kind of like this size. And let's see. I mean, if anybody can get away, it's this guy. But looks like he kind of feels it, but it's just so hard to fold a king here. That was a time extension, not the cards,
His kicker
that gives me
doesn't
another
play
minute?
either.
Yes.
which is annoying for him, obviously. If it was something like a deuce river now, occasionally we can fantasize about beating king 9 and king 6, but as you said,
The 9-10, also a possibility. We do block the 10, obviously.
Oh boy, oh boy. Let's see, I trapped every street.
10 seconds.
Oh, this is so close. All right.
Wow.
you know what? I mean,
How does he know?
how does he know, buddy?
Bluff, huh?
How
folded.
does he know?
I had a big king, Antonio. Good bluff. Wow. 8,400 got you the pot. I was snap calling up to 5,000.
Well, in that case,
Yeah. Greedy.
Bluff.
That was well done, that laydown. I
Yeah.
mean,
Great bluff.
if you could all
Had a
only
big
see the
king.
look on
Just
Nick's
didn't want
face
you
here
to sail
inside the
off.
booth.
I was about to.
He's impressed.
Oh, but I think you'll do it again.
I will.
Yeah.
and Phil's point valid about the sizing choice. It is
Call.
one of those boards
Call.
where an overbet is,
Raise up to 1,300.
maybe Phil had a point. Maybe we do size that one down slightly, but a couple
First
of pretty
real
ones here, yeah.
confrontation. Two suited aces. Hellmuth with the ace-6 up against the ace-queen. Third time Antonio's been dealt ace-queen. First time it's been suited. Here he is with second
1100.
pair.
I'm curious to see how Phil proceeds for this, just south of 50%. Obviously has the back door, ace high. Is he reaching in a major way, Ali? He is, it looks like.
Raise up to 3,800.
First potential misstep here for Hellmuth, who's in real rough shape, as you can see by the percentages.
And right on the heels of that last pot where he folded, and you know, so it's weighing on both of their minds. Maybe Antonio's thinking there could be a modicum of steam, nothing crazy, but
Fairly blank card on the turn. There'll be no backdoor flushing. Both players check.
Check. Check.
Chip it.
Antonio checked a third time on the river instead of pursuing value. Was he trying to induce there?
I think he was more just treading lightly. The 9 is so scary, kind of, when Phil raises a flop on king queen and still just second pair. I think it was more just kind of scared, probably check call or check fold kind of thing. And Phil did have a backdoor on the flop, so it wasn't, you know, he wasn't totally naked. Just a hand of poker there.
I just decided I'm raising. I'm going to raise a lot more turns, especially when
I can see that.
Especially when I limp in with big hands like that.
I can see that. Came out slugging today. I respect it.
And I raise a lot more since you bet every flop. I mean, I'm going to raise a lot more flops since you're going to do the old-fashioned c-bet every flop.
It's interesting when a poker player tells you they're going to raise a lot of turns. You know, you can't trust anything anybody's saying. So it's just when you hear them kind of jab back and forth with these little statements, it's like, what are they trying to accomplish with this stuff a little bit?
They're just inherent disbelievers,
Right.
poker players. Meanwhile, the jack-high 2-diamond board, smacking Hellmuth's jack-10 suited.
Right, and a key possible
2,700.
bluffing interference card in the form of the 7 of diamonds, although now
Must be nice to know your opponent never makes a hand. It helps.
It's a shame I had it this time. I didn't have it last time, though, when you had it.
kind of slightly un-Hellmuth-like there, jacking it with the top
started with it
pair.
last
So.
time.
But showing an aversion to establishing
Exactly.
any patterns, which
Exactly.
is key.
Of course, I could be lying like you.
Well, Northern California is home to Phil Hellmuth. Perhaps that's in part why he seems to count so many Tech Valley entrepreneurs and VCs as friends. He's got the good seats to the Warriors, Nick.
I've seen those seats, yeah. You know,
Unfortunately, the Warriors not quite as good as they once were, so those seats have lost their luster of late. Meanwhile, Queen Jack against 10-9. Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Well,
Top 2 for
Molly.
Antonio and the Nutter Butters for Phil.
1,200.
Esfandiari probably thinking, finally, I've got something here.
Right.
I'm c-betting.
man, I mean, you know, obviously
38.
things could get somewhat out of hand here depending on the dryness of the turn and all of that. If we're Antonio, we just call here. We're not trying to play for stacks
Sure.
at this juncture, but brick turns, Phil dropping bombs. Let's see.
Very wet board, obviously, with the 2 hearts.
Right.
And the 3 coordinated cards. Now the board pairs.
And little does Antonio know kind of just how good that card might be for him. To
And so far as
possibly
it allows him to slow down.
Yeah, and to maybe find some hero folds and to not do anything crazy like check raise now. He has to continue again in the form of a call, but a lot can happen here. Certainly a cooler for Antonio at this point.
Call.
And this pot swelling quickly to 19,600, largest of the match. And there is the escape hatch potentially for Esfandiari as the 7 puts 4 to a straight on board.
And he actually has a great bluffing candidate, Antonio. Just to check raise all in kind of type thing, just interfering with so many full houses. I don't know if he takes the spot, but if Hellmuth comes with something like 60% or, you know, thereabouts, we definitely have a candidate for just all in, but it's, you know.
Bet.
But that's an all-in that you perform with the knowledge that your hand is beat.
Correct.
And you have to give your opponent credit for being able to
And
fold a
just
hand, and
the
Phil
kind
can.
of, Phil can fold this hand. Phil can even fold, I don't really think he folds 8-7, but it's gross if
Maybe
they
pocket
jam.
seven
And
somehow. If
you
have
know,
that hand.
it's real gross when they check jam here. Jack Queen is kind of the bottom, and the bluffs are these, and then a lot of boats. It looks, just body language wise, he's between call and fold right now.
11,000 to call. Getting shy of 3-1.
Call.
Really?
We have the first
Nice
stand up, Ollie.
Thanks.
Nice hand. I almost moved in on the river. Oh, I want to turn my hand into a bluff so bad. Oh.
I was trying to decide if I was calling you on the river.
Oh.
Well, you called it, Nick.
Wow.
Just sort of
Antonio.
had the one, but still, I mean, his procedures were reasonable.
Oh, you run pretty good, Mr. Hellmuth.
Confirming what was going through his mind as Phil stacks a
You are pretty
41,600
special.
chip pot.
Could have been
Wow.
worse. Verted full
I was
disaster,
like-
but onward.
Just do it. Just do it. I knew you didn't have a
I think I have
blast.
to call you. I mean, I had you on. I felt like you were unlucky and had kings or something, but
No, actually, no.
I flopped better than that. What is it? Oh, 150?
No, not. You give me the
oh,
wrong
you
color.
flopped 9s and 10s. Oh, that's sick. Wow.
Why
No.
would there be a problem?
It's not.
Raise it.
Raise up to 1,000.
Wow, I should have done it.
Raise and take it with the ace-9.
I think it might have been match over. I was like, you know.
And that
I
pot,
didn't know you had Jack Queen. I thought you might have hit a Jack on the river. I thought you had a
Right.
straight on the river. I'm like, well, it's gonna be tough for him to call. Jack Queen.
A little easier because you
think you
could be
probably have
moving
to
in with the
call.
jack.
I
Yeah.
think you have to call.
I think I have to call. It would have been sick though, because I know you.
seems to have driven Antonio to remove his footwear. That was an earlier move.
Very nice.
Maybe he'll take his pants off next if this keeps up.
I could see the hat finding its way off of his head, just to allow some cooling.
Yeah, a little free floating with the hat, it feels like. It's on, it's off, who knows.
2 hooks and a 6, which binks Phil, who has established some very meaningful separation between their stacks now, here in the second level.
Indeed, Ollie.
Well, I got lucky the right pair hit there.
Oh my gosh.
If a 10 or a 9 comes on the turn, you probably just call 5K.
Of course, I do the same thing and then check raise you on the river.
You check raise to like 30, which I'm going to snap payoff.
Yeah. I mean, if it just comes like deuce 3, you probably win a bigger pot too.
I think I might win. It's possible I win the. Nah, I'm not going to win the match, but
But you win a lot.
yep, I'd win a lot
The
more.
small blind, please.
I mean, 8, 9, 10. No problem.
Call. Check.
Well, Esfandiari far from lining up in the punt formation here. Seems like he's still composed.
Check.
Check.
And
Wow.
I think it's his turn to flop the joint.
400. Call.
Not up against top
Check.
2, but Hellmuth has enough to continue as he check called 400. Check calls dark with bottom pair,
Oh
which
my,
turns
it
into
does
bottom
come in.
2.
Perhaps a saving grace for Hellmuth will be his pot control-y style, as he does just insta-check call.
Check.
Check the dog.
I was braced for a 6 or a 4 there.
I was
Just for
braced
what
too,
it's
by the way.
worth.
10,100.
Oh. real spice coming with 2 point some odd X.
And on the heels of having lost that big pot, this is
know.
going to vibe desperate, isn't it?
Wow. I'm getting tested early a little bit. But I had a nice one from my way, that's for sure. Fold. I have 2 pair.
Well, I mean, bravo. What can you say?
That's twice.
2 pair, Antonio. Good bluff.
I think we are seeing
There's
Phil
good.
Hellmuth's A game on display.
For second.
Maybe, maybe not. I haven't looked you up on a big bet, but I was planning on. I mean, 2 pair. I was like, I'm gonna let him bluff it off, and then fold it.
Pretty brilliant start from Hellmuth here, objectively speaking. I
The
mean,
one hand I limp. No problem.
He's pitching a very clean ball game right now.
yeah. We don't even talk about it at this point. That's how clean it is. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, Ali?
Yeah.
You don't even mention it.
Right.
Yeah, you were getting snap paid there. If you just bet 3,000-4,000, you know.
Call.
Go.
In fact, I called you so quickly on the turn, I was trying to make it look like I was weak.
Ace, Jack, 9, couple of diamonds.
Check.
Top pair against bottom pair on the flop.
400.
Bit annoying for Antonio. We're going to take a little river off here and 9 deuce hunting. Not going his way so far, Ali, but
Not at all.
so much poker left.
Check.
Third check out of the Magician.
And these are so murky if we're facing something.
1,300.
Looks like full pot. Could be mistaken. I believe that's 1,400. It is full pot. And it's, again, bluff catcher, third pair. I feel like the deuce is good for Antonio for
Ace.
some reason. Kind of allows the middling cards to float around a hair more, but not his start, as we said. Ali,
Dash of
to say the
proud
least.
zest, by the way,
Yeah.
on the
Bit of zest.
intonation
A hair.
when Hellmuth rolled that one over. And let's flash back to when he flopped a set against
Pretty
fourth pair.
brutal spot for Antonio, as we see he's drawing dead.
15?
Goes with half. Not many possibilities for improvement, but nonetheless he continues, which is utterly standard. And as we said, he's drawing dead, Ali. And we lose to all of the value. It's not easy. And he pays it off, so he's
Set.
folding trips. He's paying off with fourth pair. Hellmuth has him in the chamber right now, Ali. And Phil Hellmuth is back.
Picking up where he left off. And I'm
Wow.
not talking about this bagel and cream cheese. What is he working with here? What is this? Is this BYO?
Oh my God, Phil. Take it easy, buddy. I mean, pace yourself. That just doesn't look coronavirus friendly there, but we're doing what we can. The dealer looks like he's about to go mining for, I mean, listen. It's, okay.
I don't think there was adequate mastication upon the burger being
It was really,
ravenously.
it was, I mean, it looked like he ate like 35% of that burger, and that
I
one
would-
by
I
a
would-
big burger too.
That's
so,
a great line, by the way.
You know,
I think 35 is a
maybe
really
a little less,
difficult
probably a
line.
little bit less, but
Raise.
Oh, and he's returning to the burger. Let's take that other camera, can we? There's something more interesting happening.
the mask is just back on.
It's just
Yeah.
Mr. Douglas, how are you, sir? Pretty good, yourself? I'm okay. I am pretty okay.
If you remember in round one,
Give me a
Hellmuth
little heater, I'll be a little better.
got a little bit testy then. Antonio was sort
Got a
of
horseshoe like this guy.
involving the dealer. Let's see if Antonio goes for these little games or what have you. Of course, hello Douglas isn't out of line. I mean, it's just not, but you know what I mean.
But I
If
think
you
he's
guys
also
recall,
pushing Phil's buttons with the knowledge that it
You're
bothered
right.
him last time.
Correct.
All the meta. Oh, and a snapper flop there from young Douglas.
Yeah.
King high. That'll work for Hellmuth as Esfandiari with dust.
A
Turned
genuine
into
kinda, right?
deuces. Uh-oh.
Antonio drawing dead. Phil checking a hand that checks a lot in this spot. Seemingly a nice choice here. Maybe not. Maybe Antonio would have gotten sticky versus a raise, but
Third club on the end as Hellmuth tried to roll out the red carpet. Antonio content to check the river, however, understandably.
and Antonio kind of has a check raise candidate, a check call candidate, and a check fold candidate. So the murkiness continues. Let's see what he comes with, Ali. Does just pay it off and the rich get richer.
Nice hand.
Thanks.
Boy, I've been in that seat where it feels like you're just shown the winner non-stop.
It can get weird out there at times.
And
To
it's
Antonio's credit, he's retaining his composure, all that, but
Philly
yeah,
boy, you can do it.
here it is.
You can really do it. There's not many people that can do it, but you're definitely one of them. You just get it done. Douglas, are you excited, nervous, happy, dealing to Phil Hellmuth?
Oh, of course.
All the above? Is he your favorite poker player in the world? Don't be politically correct. Okay? All right, let's skip the BS, all right? The people at home want real answers.
Phil slightly more tolerant
1,000.
of the dealer engagement when sitting on the 2-to-1 plus chip
Yeah,
lead.
it's all going so well for him right now. Like, let's not rock the boat.
Queen 7 tray as the ducklings are out flopped.
That they are.
1100.
Seems like Antonio's sizing choices are often in the 40 to 60% kind of pot vicinity on flop, and then bombs as the hand
Oh.
ensues. Where am I, Ali?
Antonio turning a set. And this ace-7, certainly a durable holding on this board.
Without a doubt, not going anywhere
2000.
unless he just transcends the game. He's already called, so obviously real blood is possible in the form of the 7 or the ace, but almost any card is difficult for Phil to navigate as far as folding is concerned, because as you said, just such a strong holding.
No flush or straight possible. 10 doesn't seem like it should be relevant whatsoever, so now we guess as to whether or not we're up against a queen, really. And there doesn't appear to be much hesitation.
He does go with an
Camp
overbet
Hellmuth.
again.
Yeah, and he picks off the 13-3. Oh, he's up against a set, of
Fuck,
course.
I knew I had him on the fucking flop. God damn it. Oh, fuck.
Well,
Finally. Jeez.
Fucking goddamn.
Hard to make a hand.
Hey, Paul? Okay, listen, I need you. The dealer has to, like, he has to release the deck before he cuts every time.
Okay. What's he complaining about?
I was going to say something right away, but and now I.
But I was waiting until I lost a pot.
So
What are you complaining about? What happened?
I just need the dealer to release the deck every time before they cut. That's all. It's just good procedure. It's what everybody on the planet does, you know.
I mean, we wouldn't want to mess up procedure now, Douglas. I think you're doing just fine. You know what I really think? I think that deuce on the turn was quite beautiful, if you ask me. Because there's only 2 left, right? I have 2 in my hand. There's 4 in the deck, right? Is that right? There's no more. And somehow you managed, out of all those cards, to find that one little deuce for me. That was very nice of you. And then someone steamed out of their chair and was not happy about some procedural thing, you know?
No, I just I like it when they're dealt out of the machine. I've been lucky, but that's not the point. The point is I like it when they're dealt out of the machine. They don't have the machine.
Douglas, you deal him however he wants, okay? Whatever big man wants, he gets. He's the king.
Well, Antonio, you can interrupt me. Tell me when you're done talking, and I'll continue.
Please, continue.
Okay. You want to interrupt me again?
I mean, I might, depending on what you're saying.
Oh, okay. So that's all I want, just to release the deck and then cut. That's all. It's a good procedure. I get scared at
You mean instead of from the hand?
like, you know, when a guy has a deck like this and they never let go and then they cut, like, it's just scary to me.
I get it, yeah, because this
Yeah.
is definitely the place where you would be getting, you know, me and Douglas are in on it.
You can make fun of me all you want
Raise it.
for liking
They're
the
onto us,
procedure.
Douglas. Phil Hellmuth is onto us. Can you believe it? I never thought he would catch us, but he seems to be catching us. I thought we were doing so good, but you got to tidy up the, you know, cutting.
Oh, simply speechless.
Yeah, that
Has
was
to be a
tough
weird
one
spot for
because
Douglas.
You hitting on the turn, I couldn't, like, I knew I had you on the flop. Raise it up, make it 2,200. I
well.
couldn't tell, you know what I mean?
Well, as
fought top pair
the
again?
core temperature
Second
in the
pair?
reactor rises, let us flash back to some other steamy Hellmuthian moments.
That was a nice little... Oh, he's standing up again. We got another stand up.
Watch this.
Cold drag, aisle 1, please. Cold drag, aisle 1.
He goes crazy with 5-7 and hits a 7.
Ray, is there a better show in town? I know the movie theaters are closed, but can you imagine a better show in town or no?
I want to have it because he thinks he's going to bluff me.
Correct.
I was ready.
Correct.
It actually took me less than 5 seconds to call you.
Except Douglas
13,000.
came through.
Well, might
Oh,
two
Douglas.
tens
Douglas, we make a good team.
cool
I like what
Phil
we're doing
down.
here.
Call 400 and raise to 1,000.
Make it 3,000.
We raise to 3,000 total.
Steamy Hellmuth is a true force of nature out there.
Remarkable just how thin the ice was.
Right.
I think he won 47 hands in a row, and then he lost one. Antonio
Does it feel like I'm steaming?
called the
No.
3-bet. Ace-8 for rainbow.
King 9 off is an unpleasant kind of fight, but a fight nonetheless. Let's see if Antonio does anything here.
4,300?
Betting 4,343.
It's interesting, going with something like 90%. And that's a winner.
Nice hand.
Thank you. Yeah, I already had a plan. I'm like, he's going to bluff it off. I know
That was
he's
the
gonna,
one.
I know he's shorting to the big bet again. I know he's, because I told him I was strong both times he made the big bet. So now I know he's going to try to bluff me with the big bet.
All is true. All is true, Philly.
I'll be interested later to see if you had it for the other two big bets. I wasn't sure on one of them.
So is that how it feels when a pitcher gives up a single during the no-hitter in the 8th? Is that because we're not in the 8th, but certainly there was some disappointment on Phil's part just from losing one pot there. Granted, it was a big one, but
As you said, we're not in the 8th, but he was kind of pitching a shutout. He really was. And
Betting
You know.
1,100.
it's a bit of a lofty expectation in a heads-up match. As we see him taking King 7 up
Check.
against Queen Deuce, and the Queen on the turn, smacking Esfandiari.
And a bet here should do it. Of course, we never know, but it does. So that was a bit of a smack, Ali.
Momentum shift palpable.
4,100.
Spike to queen, huh?
Yep.
Well, what's going on?
I don't
does he
know.
know?
The only thing I can tell you is that the third level, 200, 400,
The white. I can't overcome the white magic, Phil. It's not fair.
has been good to
Yeah, but
Antonio.
you say that you're the only one I've ever played heads up to that lies about every hand.
I can't overcome the white magic. Mislead. I mislead.
Yeah.
Call
Check, Douglas.
and check.
Thank you, Douglas.
Really throwing Douglas around a lot, Ali.
Yeah,
You notice that?
the proper. Never
Right.
Doug, always
1,000.
Douglas.
Betting 1,000.
Second pair for Antonio here. His check draws a 1K bet from Hellmuth's ace-queen on the button.
Raised 3,100.
And some pushback.
Interesting. Ace-queen in that limited future, good now, a lot, sort of
12,200.
territory. And
We
excuse
raised
me, Ali.
12,200.
Kind of like this. Sort of unblock things like 7-8, which are possible check raise folds for Antonio. We wrap around that king. Probably would be a little bit cleaner to have a backdoor here, but nonetheless, this is compelling, obviously, and can't be too bad. And maybe Phil really kind of sniffed it, that this isn't that strong from Antonio, and it's not. It was more of a kind of information-seeking, middling sort of hand. So, I mean...
But therein lies the risks of Antonio taking this line, obviously, as sometimes the test comes back
Well,
positive.
heads up is a game of risks,
Call.
as we know, and he does call, and
Call.
we have one really brewing. This is interesting, Ali.
Yeah, he did call.
Oh.
Check.
That's the kind of card Phil might give up on-ish.
Well, he's already built this thing to 25
He has,
too,
but a 10-jack, even a king are kind of more natural barrels to me. This 6 looks really ugly for us. But, you know,
Do we suspect that 7-8 continues after we 3-bet?
maybe with backdoors, it's possible. Even without it, is Antonio, who's
2,700. 18, 7.
He's not going to be totally comfortable with these 9s and 6s here, is he?
No, nobody's totally comfortable with middle 2 against a guy whose reputation is to have it in big pots and all of that. But we're not going anywhere. The question is call or raise. Merits to both. As we see right now, Phil is drawing dead. So
And second warning.
$15,700 second barrel.
great choice from Antonio, just calling there. You know, there are some things beyond just equity denial. This is one of them. The times they're drawing dead. Even hands like backdoor that didn't get there in the club spade variety. And let's see, Ali, does Phil go for it again?
Check.
No, shuts it
Snap
down.
checks.
And a massive pot heading to Antonio, who has now claimed the chip lead.
Got him to call 12,000 with a fucking 9.
We got a bleeder, ladies and gentlemen. Aisle 1. We got a bleeder. Was it the best hand?
Of course not. What do you think?
I don't know.
Oh, we have a little fib there,
We
Ali.
have the best hand anytime we put the money in?
No. I never make a hand. So obviously I have to go in with the bad hands.
You had $400 in the pot. You managed to put 12,000.
Well, few people know how to needle
love
Phil
when you
like
back
Antonio.
yourself. It's the
Don't
best.
believe me? Take a look.
It's okay. I might win this.
Somebody's a little steamy over there. Is it a little warmer on that side or is it both sides? What do you think, Rachel? Is it a little warm over there? Because I sense a little steam coming out of my opponent over there. Can we get a close-up of Phil Hellmuth? He's a little steamed up.
I'm not steamed up at all.
Oh.
I already know the future.
Raise it.
Raised.
8 more.
Well, the pace of play has certainly
Call 1,200.
increased.
And just like that, Antonio's got that little chip lead. So,
If you insist.
And he's got his swag back.
yeah, definitely. I mean,
His turn, perhaps, as he hits top pair against King Queen here. That
Check.
ragged 9 deuce suited, improving tremendously.
and that 12,000 Hellmuth was alluding to before that
1,500.
little clip that you cut to. You know, it's true. I mean, Antonio did check raise, call a re-raise with just middle pair on a rainbow board
Check.
against a player who, you know, again, kind of is treads however he treads. It wasn't that easy, so Antonio did kind of earn that one. We shall see a lot of dynamics between these two at this point.
2,800. 2,800.
2 overs in the gut shot straight draw.
Antonio
now.
is consistent in his pursuit for wide value, and I like this from Phil. Just king high, but a draw to the nuts. And king high is good sometimes. I think check call is
Press a check.
fine.
Swing and a miss on the river. And Antonio contemplating whether or not to pursue value.
I think I'm missing out on some good value, but sometimes you gotta just park on Value Town. Check.
Check. Full check.
King, queen high. You got me.
92.
Well, I don't think Antonio was going to be getting any more fill bucks there.
Yes, bro.
See, the players at home, they can learn something, Antonio. You can actually play every single hand and get ahead in one of these things.
Yeah. You're playing more hands than me. What do you mean? You came out super aggro today. I love it.
This match feels like a Tesla stock ticker.
You are a beast, Phil Hellmuth.
Very
Wow.
swingy.
Beast.
Wow.
VPIP, the number of pots played voluntarily in position, PFR, pre-flop raise.
She saw Phil's was very small.
Call.
He comes with the limp so
I
often,
don't raise
which
my
is
friend Douglas.
quite
He knows the
unorthodox.
fix is in.
There it is.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Now we gotta change gears.
Check.
1,000.
Betting 1,000.
Whenever his opponent has a wound, Antonio's right there with the salt and
Right, he
citrus,
is.
isn't
He's
he?
also right there, check calling out of position with just 8 high,
Turns into a wheel draw on the
albeit
turn.
the back
5,000.
door.
Betting
Wow.
5,000.
Antonio's 10 high, turning into a pair of fives.
Okay. Okay.
The game is on, Nick.
It's on.
Okay. Philly boy. Okay. Peace.
I think
If I
somewhere
move it on the turn, you
psychologically,
call me that hand?
What hand?
The big one, the 9-6.
Maybe. It was a nice 6 for you.
I liked it. I still think the 9 is good.
If a 9 comes, you get nothing.
I guess we'll see.
If a blank comes, I guess I just win the pot.
Guess we'll see.
Nice read from Antonio. Phil still sticking to the
Yeah.
story that the 9 was no good on the flop. Antonio said, I
2,000.
still think it was good, so.
No call.
and he is, of course, right, which it's a little frustrating when you're out there trying to pose. I began saying, Nick, that I think psychologically for Phil, part of the reason that his reactions are so acute is because they have so much history between them. And whether it's perception or reality, I think Phil really does have this sense that Antonio is held over.
Yeah, I think it's palpable too, and he won that first match too. So some of the, the sort of psychology, human nature, we all sit on the win a little bit. It would really sting for him to lose today, I think, and to now be stuck all of a sudden. And yeah, I mean, he's alluded to that history before. We all know how it is too when you play with friends, anything, sport, basketball, anywhere, and you have history there. It gets weird out there, and see.
Certainly makes for a better match for
Check.
those of us watching.
Yeah, that
when these two
palpable
really wanna beat each
emotion.
other.
Yeah.
9-6 deuce here.
6.
Betting
Flush draw for
600.
Antonio.
Of course, a monster for him with the pair to boot.
And raise to 2,000. No
That'll
call.
do it.
Check raise draws the curtain. And tournament director Paul Campbell advising the players that
No, it's Antonio's button, I think.
we're up to
This is my button.
300, 600 now.
250, 500.
$250,500. Sorry. Boy, the structure really is favorable to play.
Yeah,
2-4 to 255.
ton of play in the beginning.
Raise to 1,200. Call.
And that creates weird psychological dynamics too in the
I
beginning
check.
because you don't have to overextend, but it just happens. It's the nature of heads up.
Players sharing a 10 here. Advantage Hellmuth, who has King 10 against Queen 10.
12 check.
Neither betting the flop,
check.
and now it's an open under against top pair, courtesy of the Queen of Diamonds.
Adding 1400 or 1400.
Check call
like
of
it gets
1400.
snapped.
Check.
And first I check.
And a dark check from Phil, who is unimproved.
That one felt unfair somehow.
Wow. How do you know?
That one felt unfair somehow.
Tell you what, buddy. I mean, that is a
He's
spooky statement.
dialed.
I'm not really like not kidding.
That one felt unfair
It's a
somehow.
uniquely spooky statement that he's making.
What was unfair about it? You want some chips, Phil? Here, there's 1,000.
I'm good. Maybe I had you dominated before the flop or
Oh
something.
my.
I don't know. Phil's unconscious out there. It's kind of like,
Maybe
you
you
know.
bluffed me.
A lot of maybes in this game. Guess we won't know until we know.
Felt a little unfair.
Pretty amazing.
Plus, I had a lot
read.
of cards I was check raising
It's
the
just-
river with. A lot of them.
I'm a little breathless.
Check.
Check.
A lot of cards the river was getting check raised.
These cards indeed have backs on them, right?
Yeah, it's a remarkably spooky read
Jack 8-4-2 clubs here.
from a guy who's logged his 10,000 hours playing live. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
Check. Betting 500.
The dusty 9 deuce flings
And call.
500 out there in Antonio. Getting sticky with the king high. Contesting pots now. Did he just hit a king? No.
it's
queen.
a bluffing sort of card for Phil, though.
1500.
This feels a little pivotal.
Feels like some sniff is going on here from the magician, and there is some sniff,
boy.
Ali. Well done.
6,200.
The book may not be closed just yet, but in all likelihood, well done, turning the best hand into a bluff. But nonetheless, a lot of sniff here.
You know, I didn't realize
Let's
it was
get
a
it through.
check raise. I got to tell you, I think that Antonio stands same number of chips he's going to win. He stands to
raise.
gain more by just
you, sir.
calling and showing king high there. That's real violence. When you
We
show
would've
the
had
man
one
the
chip
king
lead.
high.
One switch.
Yep. Actually, when I had you down to 70, I thought you might just give me the match. Like, not intentionally, but I thought you maybe were a little steamed up, you know.
I was steamed up.
Yeah.
I wasn't
I
getting
thought, you know, he's just, he'd rather just go home to his wife and kids right now, you know.
Except I can't go home today.
Let the champion be the champion.
I like that line. Let the champion be the champion, says Phil Hellmuth.
And you can go home,
You think I'm gonna let it be that easy, buddy? Come on now.
I thought you might, Deuce was a nice little card for you, that one.
1,200.
Huge.
Call.
Couple of suited ones.
Standard 1,200 to go.
Check.
Check.
2,400 in the middle. Paired flop.
8.
800.
28.
Raise to
Look at this.
2,800.
Third pot follow through and just a savage check raise with 10 high out of Phil.
And both of them getting a little bit annoying here.
What can I do?
Backdoors.
He insists, Douglas, you know?
Wow.
Sometimes you gotta give the man action. If anybody deserves it, it's Phil Hellmuth.
Oh, and the double paired board now presents some problems for Hellmuth's prospects. I thought he might get gun shy here. Nick,
It's a
but
weird spot. He's telling the tale of having an 8, at least a lot of the time, but
10-second warning.
And indeed, quill and ink meet paper
1,200.
as the story continues to be told.
Call.
Pretty standard call for Antonio here. Show me an 8 or a 4 if you've
Check.
got it.
Check.
Check.
Yeah, Hellmuth shuts it down
10
on
high.
the end.
That was cute. It was a valiant effort. It was very cute. One more bullet would have done it, Phil.
It was a nice 4 for you, I can tell you.
One more bullet.
I mean, I got you where I want you now. Can I hold it? Now you're calling me down with ace high and second pairs.
I mean, yeah. I'm pro fish. Phil, what have you known
I know.
me not to hold on?
Well, he calls himself Pro Fish. Splits his time between California and Nevada. And I think most of us thought he was a fish when it came time to box his buddy Kevin Hart back in 2019. But he ended up emerging victorious in the Sweet Science, something you're a big fan of, Nick. Did you think he stood a chance? Were you always on that side?
We've discussed this one before.
Yeah.
I didn't tune in for that one. I liked Kevin.
This could be over. I could win this in 20 minutes.
I'll give you 10-1. It's not over in 20
No,
minutes.
I don't need. I need you to keep. I need you to keep putting in 10,000 with ace high.
Okay. No problem.
I can't
You
lay
barrel the
10-1.
third one. You win the pot. Give it the third one. Give it what it deserves.
Yeah, I should have barreled the third.
I'm not sure the third barrel gets it done.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Raise to 1100.
Call.
Call.
Hellmuth defends with a suited baby ace.
Check.
First a check.
More dark checking. And his turn to look up at a paired board with ace high.
1800.
600 and raise to 1800.
Snap, check, raise, 3xing.
Antonio
All right.
just does not go away a lot of the time.
Well, he's in position, and you know.
Position's valuable. Listen, I mean, it is. But this, of course, speaks for itself.
Gut
32?
shot straight draw picked up courtesy of the 7.
Betting
Ace high
3200.
is still the best hand and still barreling here.
And I mean, listen, if you want to tell the tale, if you're Antonio, having outs is lovely. He has some now. I think it's time. Can't wait too long with just 8 high.
And raise 11,300.
And might we have some otherworldly sniff here, Ali? I mean, ace high beats all of the nonsense.
Well, Antonio has declared I have a jack.
I think the clubs are nice suits to have too, because we want Antonio to have back doors on the flop, of which the clubs don't interfere with. But I mean, still, just ace 3 on jack 4. He called a check raise. Now he's raising turn. I mean,
And the
convention
prospect
would be to fold.
of the inflated river bet, if we do make this call.
Yeah, right. A guy who goes for the inflated river bet a lot. So it's not just now. And we can't sort of take too much time, but he's capable of doing this with a jack, so I don't think it's a huge deal yet. Meaning he could continue here with a call, and he's not just totally revealing that he has nothing. But I think, well, let's just see. I mean, he's fooled us at a lot of turns before.
29,000.
Oh
Wow.
my!
Raise
You know,
to
I
29,000.
Wow!
I did feel like perhaps the cape was going to be donned here.
Do we have any duality of capes here? Because, I mean, he hasn't folded yet, Ali. There's a little bit of street poker out here in the desert right now, buddy. I mean,
If Antonio piles.
pre-pile, we're still in the street. Yeah. Me too. Is he calling?
Call.
Wow, what a hand.
Whoa.
I check in the dark.
63,800 and
Wow.
a dark check
Wow.
as Hellmuth hits the ace. Terrific card for him. Provided he's not up against a jack.
All in.
Antonio
Well, of course.
Very nonchalantly says all in. Cannot win the pot with 8 high.
Of course. By the way, that nonchalance that you just alluded to is something. I mean, he did it pretty smoothly, but I mean, I think if we're Phil at this point, I think we listen. It's not that easy when you're out there, you know. I mean, this is just really an incredible hand that
This is for the match.
Will be rewatched again. Yeah, of course. I mean,
in Hellmuth's mind, you're wrong, you're done.
Yeah, a little bit bravo to both guys. I mean, they both sort of sniffed it out. And you said it what feels like a long while back. Ali position. He is in position, and there are some benefits to being in position.
I call.
And he does
Wow.
call. Bravo, Phil. Wow.
So it's unbelievable.
30,000, 32,000,
Wow.
34,000, 25. Yes!
Wow.
I was moving in if the ace doesn't come.
30 what?
I had you on 5-6. I had you on some kind of straight draw, and
You're
I
such
got
a
a call.
genius when you see the cards.
I haven't seen your hand.
You called and I had nothing. Well, what do you think I had?
A straight draw?
On Jack, Jack 4. I mean, you're such a genius. The ace don't come, you're never moving in. I'm winning the pot 100% of the time.
That's what you think.
That's what I
You know
know.
I'm playing today. Way I'm playing today, 32,425.
Nice hand. 32, 425?
Yep. See, we're dancing, Antonio. I told you this could end in 20 minutes. We're dancing.
I mean, how can I beat you? You just get there.
This
Every
is more
time.
lambada than polka.
Get there. I had you on a straight draw. I'm moving in on the river.
You're gonna move in my ass. You're gonna move in.
I'm moving in.
Yeah.
I gotta go with
I'll
my
bet you
read.
100,000 on a lie detector. You want to bet?
A lie detector?
Yeah,
I mean,
$100,000. I'll bet you.
there's over 50% chance of moving in.
Oh,
I'll say
now
that.
it's 50%.
Well, yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow. I couldn't beat anything but a bluff, Antonio. Woo. My instincts were going crazy. It was like, he's got a straight draw. He's got a straight
You
draw.
really
Raise
are
him.
so lucky, man. It's unbelievable in these big spots. You just always solve the problem. No problem.
I've been a problem solver my whole life, Antonio. That's what I do.
Yeah. Nice hand. What can I do? How can I overcome that? I
You
can't.
could have folded for 18,000 more instead
Yeah.
of tried to bluff me.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't know. You asked out loud.
I mean, I knew you didn't have it.
I knew you didn't have it.
4 or 5?
We're dancing. I told you.
Yeah.
We're dancing right to the end.
Nick, this one's worth the price
Right
of
to the
admission,
bitter
huh?
end. We're going to dance.
Yeah, Ali.
I'm going with my instincts.
Just two guys at the top of their games right now.
Phil's a gangster, man. They're both gangsters. I mean, you know, that hand speaks for itself, but that was, you know, they both have a lot of heart. Phil did sniff it out, and his sense of sniff today has been extraordinary. Listen, that's, I think, objective. I think calling a spade a spade. He said that one didn't feel fair, the king 10, queen 10. This one, he bull by the horns on the tournament.
Listen, he's in full Blues Clues mode.
And now,
right
yeah,
there.
right.
It's just over.
I mean, no ace, you're never moving in a million years. You're so done with the hand when I call you 30,000 on the turn. I mean, it's.
I got to move
it's
in.
a
I thought
joke.
I had you on a
You
straight
got to
draw.
move in. Yeah, okay. Okay.
How can I win?
Okay. How can you win? Because you don't want to go broke. Every
Okay.
person in the world, including yourself, knows you're done with the hand unless an ace comes.
Wrong.
So lucky.
Raise to 1200.
Just always solve the problem in these big spots. No problem. I'm Phil Hellmuth.
Call the 1200.
The thing is, ace
I'm on a
high.
check.
First action.
How do you do it? How does he do it, Douglas? Some guys can do it.
Check.
Hold
How do
on.
you
I'm going to
get
bet in
ace
the
high?
dark.
Goes check, check, and Phil wants to bet in the dark.
1500.
It's a good turn for Phil. Yeah, I mean, maybe he
Wheel
would have.
draw for Antonio.
Maybe he would have continued on the end with just ace
I'm
high.
not
you know?
convinced
I mean,
that he was done with the
I
hand.
don't think it's crystal clear based on the way things went down.
22.
Betting 2200.
Well done here
Yeah.
from Junior. Phil Hellmuth Jr., that is.
Well, he milked 1,500 off Antonio's stack on the turn, and now he's been raised on the river.
Yeah, really nice. I mean,
How
let's
much
see.
more do you have left?
Look at this.
Not a lot.
Hellmuth
20,
with
40.
the jack blocker.
50 something.
And when I said nice turn for Hellmuth, I thought he actually had jack 8 of hearts, so my apologies. Obviously, the 4 of hearts, not that much going on outside of bluffing.
10-second warning.
Possible heart rivers, and Phil not done just yet, Ali.
Time extension.
Is this just an every hand fireworks kind of affair today?
I won't be complaining if it is.
No. It's
How
rare.
much? 8,000?
8,000 total, yes.
Is he considering just heroing? I think he's considered heroing with jack high, beating 5-6 and all of that stuff. But I mean,
This is a pure cage match right now.
yeah, it really is.
Some of the body language though
Oh, it's
suggests
primal out there. You could just, you could smell it. I mean, we don't want to rifle off too many time banks here. He's obviously really thinking.
All right, I call.
Does pay it off with jack high.
Ace high's good.
It's been a fascinating day, Ali. Truly.
He tried to bluff me. I knew he was bluffing.
Yeah. Probably some truth to that.
Oh, I'm going to win this thing in 10 minutes. Let's go. I got a read on you. How do you get away with that? Bluffing your money off and it's still won. Wow, that's sick. All the pros are going to enjoy that hand. They're going to say, what a great read I made. I know you want to give it to me, Antonio.
I'm trying to give it to you.
I know.
That's all I'm trying to do is give it to you. You're Phil Hellmuth. You're my idol. You're my hero. All I want to do is give you the chips.
Wow, what a freaking hand that's going to be. That's going to make a highlight reel of some sort.
this whole match is a highlight reel. Nick,
What a read I made. I knew you had nothing.
with the sense of
I was
sniff,
raising for value. What are you talking about? You kidding me? Of course.
as finely tuned as it's been tonight for Phil,
Wow, he
don't we
wants to give
lean
it to me.
toward the 3-bet instead of a flat
Douglas,
with jack
he
8
can't
there?
stop us. Together, we're too strong, Douglas. He doesn't know how powerful we are
Come on,
together.
just give it to me. Play every hand.
He
Let's
doesn't
end this
know.
thing quick.
12.
Raising up.
Let's end this thing quick, Antonio. I'm going to check in the dark.
And call. And Phil tapping
I think so, Ali. But I've called with jack high before. We all have.
betting 1,200.
Well, one of these jack highs is doing much better than the other on this 997 board.
Wow,
as
what a
Esfandiari.
hand. He bet 8, bluffed 8,000 on the river with ace deuce. I could see it in his eyes, and I still
Wow.
lost. That's tilting.
Which
That is so tilting.
which happens when we have bluff catchers that can lose to bluffs, but
You had to be sick when I threw the 8,000 in.
What are you talking about? I knew I was good.
Right.
I was so happy.
Jeez. Why would you say silly things like that? I mean, there are some amateurs that believe you. You know, that's how bad they are. God, what a read. I'm supposed to have another 20 in front of me. All right, bluff it all off to me, Antonio.
I will.
I know.
You know
I'm
how I
ready.
do it.
I'm ready. I'm just going to limp in and
You know how I do it.
do my thing.
Raise to 2,500 total and no call.
Well, this match has certainly
Let's
been a
play.
real
You
treat.
wanna
Let's
play?
flash back to some other moments
play?
between these two. Hellmuth bluffing.
Well, he check called 16,000
Right,
on the
let's
flop,
see.
60 out there, and Antonio is firing.
I think we just kind of call and try to hit. I like this choice, a sort of pragmatic approach.
He has far less outs than he thinks he does. Neither player improves.
So we have to bluff busted flush draws.
45? All I can be is king 10.
Yeah. He gets it through. Bravo, Phil Hellmuth. Beautiful execution there. And now we have a chip lead that's formidable.
Wow. How do I have 85? I'll take
Blinds
it.
now up to 300,
I
600.
bluffed off. I picked off and made an amazing move. You're supposed to have 20 less. I will say this, Antonio, that was one of the best calls I've made, calling you with Jack 8. And the weird thing is, like, he won the pot, and so the amateurs are like, oh. I mean, I knew you had nothing.
Raise up to 1,300.
Call.
Call. So
Check.
Pocket
It's 12.
fours
It's 12. It's 12. Give him 100 back.
on the button
It's
100
full.
back?
Antonio
100.
to start this blind level.
Correct.
Can you give me 100 back?
Oh,
Thank you.
so 1200.
Check.
Checking up.
Jack 8-6, 3 overcards. 4 still good and still betting.
Oh. I don't think that was the time to check raise you, but maybe.
Yes, yes.
You think they're confused in the booth? I mean, it must be like, what are these two maniacs doing?
We're loving it, whatever it is.
I mean,
You really do have some maniac in you, Phil. I got to give you credit.
well, how you like that? I mean, the Jack 8 call was such a world-class call. I knew you had nothing, but I never thought you'd have ace high. I even thought, you know, I should have just re-raised you.
Easier said than done.
Let's end this thing quickly, Antonio. Give me the money. Give me the chippies.
Go.
Last time I talked and limped, you raised.
What's up?
Hellmuth with the 30K chip lead at present.
Check.
Looking up at the King Jack 5 board, which gives Antonio middle pair.
9.
900. 9.
Phil c-bets 900.
Call.
Promptly called by Antonio.
Check. Check.
2 quick checks on the turn. Now trip jacks.
$800.
That might have been
I
5,300.
saw it,
but,
Antonio.
yeah. Take it down.
I've been meaning to ask you, Nick, how's that golf commentary gig going for you?
Golf commentary gig.
Just,
You tell me.
slightly-
I mean, what do you mean?
Slightly muted this evening.
Wow.
By the way, take a
Oh,
look at
there
these
he is.
emails that were exchanged between Phil
idiot
and
over here.
Antonio
Wow.
in reference
Who's
to the
this?
match start time. Phil
Okay.
advising Antonio he can't start early. Antonio with a slight needle. Little Your Majesty
Your
thrown out there.
Majesty, of course, a little condescending. Okay. Go on.
Show must go on for the sake of TV.
Just go like
Imploring
this and
Phil,
just let go with both
And the
hands.
saga will continue. I've
And
read
then
through
cut-
this
can you just
thread and we'll
recut
share
one
with
there?
you all of the exchange.
Or can
It
I
is
even can I
Are
ask
you
for
allowed
that?
to recut? Because
You might
I
not be
object
allowed.
to a
Fantastic.
recut. If it's
Okay, deal. But just next hand, please, Ray.
Ray, he's on to us. He's on to us. He knows that we're colluding.
Paul, the only thing I ask for
He knows.
when I play high stakes poker.
No more.
The only thing I ask for is I ask the dealer to just
We got to
let
cut
go
it
with
off.
both hands.
Now we got to cut it off.
And
'cause
then
he's-
cut.
You know,
That's
now
all I ask.
they caught us. He's on to us.
Go ahead, Ray. Deal. It's okay. You can't. He
Ray,
won't let you recut.
Ray,
So.
please,
For recall? For reshuffle.
please, deal. Not deal. Please deal.
And by the way, for the people at home, this is always, if you're playing in a home game, it's always good to have the dealer, just for the people at home, just have the dealer let go with both hands before the final cut. That's all. These are the best dealers in the world, and I'm not afraid that anything's going on, but I still, perfect. After a lifetime of home games, I just
Ray, they got us. He caught us. I'm very sad.
Is it
we were about to
possible-
go. We were about to do the move with the second deal. And
To be this insistent
You
upon
know.
this, Nick, without actually having a little bit of an unsavory tinge to it.
call.
wow, I woke up with this and raised it dark. How good am I running right now? Let's go, Ray.
We do
We're
have
gonna punish him.
one brewing here with the suited paints. No, Ali, there's a tinge of
any
unsavoriness.
sides?
Obviously, Phil is throwing
No.
the notion of cheating out there just as far as just wanting to follow the procedure, this and that. But at the same time, he is right. So, okay. I don't think he's actually worried. I think it's more of a
Yeah, he made his
superstitious
disclaimer.
kind of, you know?
Dark check on the King 6 Deuce 2 spade flop. Middle pair queen kicker with the backdoor diamonds for Phil as he looks up at a bet of 1,200.
Call.
Call.
Pauses before making the call.
Check.
Checking out. Check.
Picking up the diamond draw is Hellmuth as it goes check, check. Running pair on the end.
18.
1800.
Queen kicker no longer plays as Phil bets 1800.
Guess you don't have 4-5. What can I possibly beat, huh? All right. Nice hand, Mr. Hellmuth.
Okay.
Thank you.
No. Ray, I didn't think they were gonna catch us, but they caught us.
Here he is.
6, 8. 6.
6.
And back to the email saga. Phil getting a little touchy, saying it's not fair. I don't normally wake up that early, and I didn't agree to start the match that early. And then Antonio dropped the hammer. This is one of those
isn't always
texts where you have to keep scrolling.
Okay, yes, here he is. Is that fair?
Burgers medium rare, come out medium
is
well.
that
That's not
fair?
fair. The kids
Right,
wake me up when I
okay.
haven't slept. That's not fair.
Okay.
I'll find a way to make it work because I understand the complexity of production, which of course we appreciate, but
And it is true.
laid it on a little thick, did Antonio there.
A
And,
little bit thick.
against the backdrop of laying it on thick, the skin on Hellmuth began to appear
Go.
quite thin when we revisit that thread. A less than jovial response. is on
Yes,
deck.
unfortunately for everybody involved, this thread continues. So I guess we'll be
6.
visiting it. Bottom pair good here. The under pairs worked out for Antonio before, spiked that deuce on the turn earlier when Phil had a7.
Yeah, he wants to take a peek at the turn. No set this time, but a welcome sight insofar as the texture isn't complicated.
1500.
Board pairs. Now Hellmuth wasting no time, barreling again.
Call.
A nice
Definitely
bet
some
from Phil
draws.
on the turn.
Check.
Does he get the
Third
third street, Ali? It looks like he is pursuing the third street of value here. Maybe not.
Could be a head fake. I think we need to be wary of getting check raised when our river bet comes in on the heels of this
Check.
Check.
sort of pump fake.
Looks like Phil agreed with you, Ali.
For 6.
Take it down, sir.
Nice hand.
I think you might have gotten paid off there with the right size.
You were getting paid.
Was I?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, back to the email, and I promise this is the end of it. Suddenly, it got personal.
God.
You can be really mean.
Oof. A little
Phil
passive
said.
aggressive there, but okay. That's your choice.
Yeah.
I'll
Not gonna
not make
make
you
you
look
look
like
like
a
a jerk.
jerk. That's my choice. But I will inform you now, man, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of a negotiation with either one of these.
Yeah,
Here we
Phil
go.
resorting
Oh.
to the contract as being the
Okay.
explanation, and suddenly Antonio saying, lighten up.
Right,
You can dish it out, but you can't take it.
right.
I don't care what time we play.
Raise
Well.
up to 1600.
He knows how to push his buttons.
Yep, I should have induced the pro fish. It was a
It
good
works
run out.
every time.
It was a good run out for 4s. You know,
Works out
as it
every
turned out,
time.
yeah. Good run out for a6. Better run out for a6. I don't know. I think there's some chance you would have folded the 4s, like 50%.
Call. Check.
King, queen suited. Nice looking one here for Phil. Keeping with the limp theme.
Check.
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 2 overs and a gut shot for him up against bottom pair. Goes check, check. Now the diamond draw rolls
Check.
in. Faint knock at the back
Check.
door.
Check.
Still no betting. And the queen. will give Hellmuth the best hand, and suddenly
1,000.
Antonio picks the one
Call.
street on which he's
Call.
not ahead to
I got it.
fire.
A little bit unorthodox value pursuit there. Perhaps he thought Phil was a
Look
little
at
bit
that hand.
underrepresented.
I mean, honestly, all BS aside, okay? How do you get these hands?
Well, you think I'm running way better than you?
Yeah. In the overall matches, I'll bet you that you've made more hands than me. You want to bet? Just hands. Who's made more hands?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about heads-up hands.
I'll bet you've made more hands than me.
You would never have played king queen like that. You would have raised me out before the flop.
Yeah.
You would have definitely bet the flop and the turn.
Of course.
And with the
What are
queen
you
of the
waiting
river,
for?
you would have.
You got a gutter, 2 overcards, and a flush draw on the turn. Why would you want to bet that hand? I mean, why would you? Can never be too careful, you know?
Not likely.
I was dreaming that a 10 pops off and
I understand.
like 20,000.
Poker is made of dreams.
That's the first time
If
you've
the cards
folded
break
that.
even, I'm gonna bust your ass so fast.
What happens, Antonio,
If the
I
cards
win?
break even,
What
I'm
happens
gonna
if I
bust
beat you?
your ass so fast.
What happens if I win 7 matches in a row? Then what will you say?
You won't play me 7 in a row. You want to make a contract for 7 in a row right now?
I mean, we can always go to the RA and play 20K matches, you know? Just same timing, same thing, just like this. What happens if I beat you 7 in a row? Then what would you say? I'm just lucky, huh?
I would say that you were lucky for 7 matches. Heads up, anything can happen. Check.
Check.
He raised some good points, Ali.
Check.
Check.
Phil does take these tricky, weird passive lines where sometimes he shows down a hand that other players wouldn't have shown down because they would have.
Did you like or dislike that call, Phil? What do you think?
Here he is with king queen again, top pair open ender against second pair.
15.
And slightly more mid-hand chatter now. Antonio's kind of probing him to talk on flop now. Perhaps turn him river.
I
Not
tend
going
to think
anywhere.
that's a development that favors Antonio, Nick.
I don't know about that, buddy. Just don't. These are human beings, you know. It's not totally clear. I mean, the Phil of today isn't the Phil of yesterday and so on. I mean, they both know what they're doing.
But Antonio certainly staked his reputation in part on live reads.
He has, but so has Phil.
42.
Sure.
You know.
And he's made some spectacular ones today.
Pretty tilting, but I guess I have to pay you off. 42?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Seconds.
King?
Let's
Queen?
get paid.
Shocker. Nice in.
In case you were wondering, by the way, Nick, 7 matches. That would come to $3.2 million each.
Oof.
That's round 7.
From your lips to the heavens, Holly. Love to see it.
Well, Hellmuth, part of a big family. And we're not talking about just poker. A list of 5 kids. I've been out there in the charity streets with Phil a time or two, and I got to tell you got to box out for the mic.
Branding.
Can be a bit of a challenge. Peeling the mic away from Phil.
And that last stat there, Poker Hall of Fame in 2007, of course. What else? A couple of Jakes for Esfandiari. Can he turn things around a little bit? Doesn't feel like the momentum is on his side. Obviously, heads up poker, an ebb and a flow, a back and a forth, but kind of needs to make something happen a little bit. This is a good start, facing 2 undercards.
Still tremendously deep, though, even
Of
out
course.
chipped 125
Absolutely,
to 71. No
but
urgency really here.
Oh, a little open under here for Phil.
There is a magic turn card.
Right,
could
that
blow
was the
things wide open.
anytime you see 8-10, 9-7 versus jacks, of course.
$1,700 bet.
He's got the call there by his right hand, but you never know with him. Does come with just call.
Check.
Check in dot.
Now, pair of 9s to go with the open ender for Hellmuth.
4,200.
Forced to continue, really.
Yeah, even maybe a smidge of raising is okay, but no folding. It isn't super lovely
Call.
with third pair, but the open ender, so on. See?
Check.
Check in
Antonio,
back.
of course, open-ended as well with the best hand. Now the ace pairs.
If for Antonio, we're definitely going for value here. He is, and Phil will have a
9,200.
weird decision on his hands, Ali. Maybe he'll walk us through it.
Yeah, that's fairly meaty toward the full pot side of the spectrum on the end here from Antonio.
Which is kind of consistent with Antonio's sizing choices, so perhaps it's less revealing than versus some, but
10 seconds.
Certainly on the river.
yeah.
Fold.
Fold.
Yeah, well done. Bravo.
Those good folds on the end are starting to add up.
Yeah, I feel. You know,
Oh, wish I had another time extension there.
he's playing well, Ali.
I had a pretty good flop there. Good bet, Antonio.
Thank you, sir.
You got me off of a 9.
Back to telling the truth. There's been some pretty sporting stubbornness in spots
Go.
so far between these two.
Both of them.
Not wanting to divulge. King 10 against 8-6, open ender.
Check.
Against King High on the 7-7-5 flop. No change
Check.
on the turn.
Check.
And still no interest in betting out of either seat. Double paired board now, and the King
Check.
High
6.
quite
600.
good. And going for value there.
I think it was a little bit of value.
You bet the flop. We're gonna have some fireworks.
Oh, I should have check ratio on the ace 10-8 flop. Fuck.
That would have been nice.
Huh?
That would have been nice.
You think Phil plays better with the lead
That would have been nice.
or from behind in these heads-up matches?
You know, I find myself just being kind of impressed with him across the board over this last however long sample size. I mean, I think when he's behind, he might be a little more quote-unquote difficult to play against because some of the random factor seems to really come in, the steam, but is he really steam, this and that? But it doesn't necessarily mean that he's driving more EV. I don't know. They're tougher to deal with when he's behind, but I don't know if that means that he's
That was a
playing
fun match.
better,
You're
so
a
to speak.
beast, Phil. What a beast. The old timer can do it, huh, Paul?
You're a beast as well, Antonio. No fear. Just calling off 39 on the Jack 7-4 board.
When you know, you know.
5-8.
When you know, you know.
How many bets did we put in? Bet, raise, re-raise.
There was
Call.
there was a check raise on every street except for the river. On the flop, there was a check raise call. On the turn, there was like multiple raises. I mean, that was just insane. That was such an insane hand.
Yep.
It had to be one of the most insane hand we've actually ever played. Would have been nice.
2 3s against 3
No
4.
Check.
Oh, that
Flop
would have
not
looked
in
good
either
if no ace
neighborhood.
came and I win the river. That would have looked good.
Well, I would have loved it if somehow, I mean, I'm not saying I would have done it. I would have loved
You
it if,
check dark. What do you mean?
I know. I would have
So
loved it.
How could you?
No, I
What
would've
are you,
loved
you're gonna find a call with ace high?
Yeah, that would have.
Oh,
That's what I
come
would have
on.
loved. I would have loved it if a
My
deuce
flop
comes
is a
off
4-8.
and I somehow just call my last 32,000 with ace high. I'm not saying I would have done it, but I would have loved it. Because my instincts on the turn were you had nothing.
Up we go to 4-8.
Yeah. I usually like to call 30,000 with nothing. 30%
No,
of
I
the
just
starting
trust.
stack.
I trust my instincts. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. It's easier said when it's done.
9 lots.
4 and 8, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm not
18?
convinced Phil wouldn't have made that call with ace high on the end.
Neither am I. I mean, ace high is not that much different than aces and jacks there
Call.
for pretty clear-cut reasons, you know.
Check
Yep.
it out.
It's
It was a polarizing spot there.
Yeah.
King Trey against 10-6.
a little backdoor for Antonio.
Top pair against bottom pair. Antonio
2,000.
leads.
4,000.
Raise up to 4,000.
Ah, the little min raise from Phil.
Yeah.
I love it when he starts doing this.
Call.
Antonio in position actually didn't lead.
Most players don't really check min raise out of position.
Check.
They just raise more or continue with a call, but Phil continues to sort of show the
Check.
width of the unorthodox arsenal that he
3,300 in
possesses,
the dark.
which is real, and here we have 3,300 in the dark.
3,300.
Ali.
On this board texture, no
Yeah.
less. Oh. Might Antonio seek to capitalize on this four-liner as the texture has changed dramatically?
We're about to find out. I mean, you would think that some of the dark turn bets contain straighty kind of cards, but it looks like he is, Ali.
I mean,
Raise.
you talk about people getting.
11,400.
You talk about people getting lucky, Antonio. What do you got? Ace 7 offsuit.
Wow.
Fuck.
I think Phil can
How
hold
lucky did I
himself
get?
accountable.
Well, I had at least a 6. What do you mean? How lucky did you get? I got you to call 4,000. Ooh.
That's a product of the dark bet, Nick.
I was thinking to myself, no 4 or 7.
I love the river.
I
Made it
agree.
easier to bluff.
Yeah, I'm sure you bluffed that one. Fuck, come on. He's going to bet every flop, so I'm going to get him in trouble. Just remember, if you had 2 or 3 of those where you just bet with nothing on the flop and get raised and get lucky.
Timing's pretty good here
Good
for
luck.
Phil. as
Really
he picks
is.
up 2 queens.
Your
Call.
luck.
Call.
In their
Go.
first match, by the way,
Coming with the limp.
neither player had jacks or better dealt until hand 50 when Phil picked up 2 queens.
Oh, my.
No one ever made kings or aces, and the ace on the board could be the saving grace for these pocket queens as Esfandiari has flopped trip 8s.
Oh, and I love that lead from Antonio.
Yeah.
It's a little bit unorthodox, but nice nonetheless, especially against a pot control-y kind of opponent that he finds himself in front of in the form of Hellmuth, obviously, who has a very pedal to the metal gear.
2,600.
And with the club draw out there, obviously, Phil further incentivized to continue. Doesn't block any clubs in his hand.
That's right.
This texture just unchanged.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty tough spot for Phil if Antonio bets again.
Will he stay true to the big river bets?
5,600.
No, downsized. This isn't non-dairy.
Yeah, this is uncomfortable, obviously.
Second.
Oh, man, I guess I have to call this. I think you have me, though.
Yep.
That was pretty lucky, too, by the way.
Yeah, I finally made a hand. How about that?
No, I mean, I had basically had the nuts, and you had 3-8.
Like Antonio's flop lead there a lot. I think practically speaking, it works out. There he is.
A little shift in gears there, which is how one might describe his absence from the tournament poker scene on the heels of having started a family with his lovely wife. 2 kids now, and so close to his dad, who is here just offset, watching on. Really a unique relationship. Very few poker players have I seen that close to their fathers. I think Bonomo actually has a very
What are you
close
gonna do?
relationship with his dad as
You
well.
can't make something out of nothing, Phil.
You raised every button.
You got to have something
You're easy to
in order
beat
to
when
make
you-
something.
You're easy to beat when you raise every button. And I can just check raise flops, and you can call with belly busters and miss most of the time.
Yep, it's hard to get there. Okay, bro, I love you, Dad. I love your shoes. They bring me joy.
Right on cue.
Right.
So we know he didn't get the take your shoes off thing from his dad, I guess. His dad
Check.
had his shoes on.
Right.
Couple of suited fives. 2 hearts on the board here. Jack high, coincidentally best.
1,000.
He leads again, Ali. So he just showed him trips, and he's kind of trying to tell the momentum story, sort of.
Now it's going to be tougher to push that tail now.
It's harder when you're drawing dead, yeah.
Check.
Check.
Interesting check back from Phil.
I like that check back a lot, actually.
Now he's got jacks full.
Check.
$3,000.
3,000.
I might have the best hand here, Phil. I might have the best hand. 3-6, 5-6. I have a 5. It's not good. All right, I'm not gonna be a hero. You know, sometimes you gotta just fold the best hand. You know how that goes.
Or save yourself $3,000 in that case.
Philly boy!
Wow.
All right, Antonio.
Let's go, Philly boy!
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh.
Man, I almost folded for 5,600. That would have been a nice lay down there.
It's hard to fold. I mean, it's not every day I just lead right into trips on the flop.
Yeah, I thought maybe that's what you're doing, just hoping you got lucky and I had an ace or big pair.
Raise up to 1,700.
Call.
Call.
Pretty little Jack 10 suited running up against an ace high. Antonio raising
Check.
the button.
Checking dot.
I'm
More
probably
of that
gonna
dark
bet like
stuff from Phil.
24 is my guess, okay? Around 24.
Check to you.
A lot easier
48.
to make that bet
24. and
once
raise
you
to
make
48.
top pair. And another one of these snap raises from Phil. Does have a 6.
Raise up to 4,800. 4,800.
Boy, they are contesting every crumb, fighting for every morsel out there.
Raise up to 16,000.
Interesting.
Kind of a wet texture, though, Nick.
Very wet. I mean, I think if we're Phil, we've seen
What
enough
kind of trapper
here.
would I be if I actually, of course I have it, but what kind of trapper would I be if I didn't let you have this one?
10 seconds.
I'm going to predict I'm going to bust you in the next 18 minutes, Antonio.
Well,
Start the clock.
You want to bet some extra money on the side?
No, but I mean,
Let's double it.
Why don't you do 10 to 1 or something?
10 to 1?
18 minutes? I mean,
mean-
look at the blinds. They're nothing.
No, I'm just saying extra money
They're
on the side,
nothing.
on the match. We're about even, just extra money. You want to add another 100?
Well, I mean,
Well, that
on
tells
the
a story
table.
there, Nick.
okay, Antonio. You also want to tase me.
Different
but I will
styles.
I will play you heads up all night in the poker room.
Cash game?
No, just the same format. We can play all night.
I don't like the raising blinds thing.
While they're even in VPIP, the pre-flop raising and the C betting.
Go.
and listen, I mean, just one example of kind of a weird sideline not often taken, but Hellmuth min-raise folding flop as opposed to maybe check calling 3 streets unimproved. He might have saved some, you know. Sometimes the post-mortem of these hands, it's like, well, why are we min-raising about it? But then again, he still found out where he was at. You know, he does his own thing out there. It's nice to watch players who really do their own thing. I mean that genuinely.
800.
And Phil really has received
Just like that, they're neck and neck, by the way, Ali. Look at that. They're back.
a lot of criticism throughout the years, in particular from the newer guard, from the younger players who
This is what I don't need. I want you to raise every button and bet every flop. I need you to do that.
Well, I'm going to do it.
Right. And then
So what do you want?
Most times
I'm giving you what you want.
perfect.
Okay.
Well, you know, then when I finally flop something, I can't have you making it 16,000. You know.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you
Or
have?
when I have top pair that other hand, I can't have you hitting belly busters on the river. You know, calling your money off light like that. You know.
So you want me to gamble, donk, 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 but never get there? That's basically what you're saying?
Raise up to 1,700.
But I think
I
you'd
mean,
agree.
what he's saying
when I
there?
keep calling with these hands, you know, I'm just hoping that.
I'll eventually finish this thought. I think you would agree that Phil has received tremendous
Probably around
criticism from
18
the
is
newer
my guess.
players that
Around
suggest that the
18.
game has sort of passed him by
No,
and that he can't keep
I'm a man
up.
of my word, Ray.
But he really has held his own. And there was
36.
Raise up to 36. 3,000.
you see the king against the ace-high flush draw. Another check raise from Phil.
Tony has a pretty comfy one to just call and keep sort of calling. Barring a deuce or a king turn. I don't really think we want to re-raise a
Call.
hand this good.
36?
Yes.
Yeah, as you were saying.
I check in the dark.
There we go. He's taken a lot of heat over the years. But the
How do you feel
argument...
about that, Ray? The check in the dark. You like it? Don't like it?
Oh, now he's
No
involving the
opinion?
dealers. Ali to be continued. I mean,
Blank turn.
Check.
No further chips deposited. And the hearts
Oh.
get there.
4,000.
4,000 is a bet.
he does go for a little something. And
What are we hoping to target with this bet?
pocket pairs between the deuce and maybe the 10. Maybe between just the deuce and the king. Why not? Maybe some weird floats that contain a 9 or a 6. Maybe even some ace highs. Probably not.
19,700.
This is the blender, Ali, because he takes such unorthodox lines. Jack min raise, dark check. He might feel he's induced some of this as far as maybe Antonio having air. When you play with the bull, you get the horns sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Fold.
Fold.
Boy.
well done.
See, Antonio, that's about 5 times where you beat top pair or top 2.
True.
You got all that luck or skill, and I'm still going to bust you quickly
Well,
because you're going to miss one soon.
One day I'll miss it.
Another edition of Tale of the Tape. Well, slightly more relevant here. I guess they're both Aria guys. You always see them rocking their swag. Ball caps, nicknames, sports.
This whole match.
What else were we gonna do with those 8 seconds,
50% of
Nick?
hands, you just have top pairs. You have no
Right,
idea how
right,
powerful
right.
that is?
Right. Wow, you tried to give me the 19,000. Wow. Why? Okay, so be it.
So be it, he says.
Yep, so be it. God, I should have called. What am I doing? I really didn't think you'd want to give it to me, like a 19 ball on a spot like that.
has Antonio claimed air in the postmortem? I think he's claiming
Okay.
air. A little
we go.
lie. Maybe not, though.
Small blind, big blind. This time I won't fold the
Listen,
river.
anything to steam Phil up.
Could be just speculation, though.
Pretty one here.
Raise up to 1,700.
Okay, here we go. This is where I usually check raise the flop.
Okay.
3 bettable
time
one
I
here
make
pre.
something. This is the one. Ray, let's go. Back on
Better
track,
hope you
okay?
don't do it on a jack high
You
board,
just
Phil.
won the last 7 of these.
Oh, and
Jockey.
Hellmuth managing to squeak a queen off the stub.
Really is a squeak, and some stuff here for Antonio, obviously with the royal flush draw. I mean, anybody who's
44.
played a little video poker knows what 3 to the royal is.
Another check min raise from Phil. Recent trend,
Some form of continue here is a must.
Call.
So he comes with the call.
certainly for that price. 12-2 in the middle. Not a very interesting turn, however.
Check. Check.
Antonio. Check back, a free pull at a king. And
Ooh.
instead, he hits the jack up against top 2 with second pair king kicker now.
5,200.
Top 2.
Call.
No problem.
52.
Nice hand.
And not to be results oriented, but obviously Phil betting the turn, we presume, takes the pot right there. By checking, he allows Antonio to improve,
Nice.
granted in the one way that's beneficial.
Oh, you're right.
King comes off, you regret it.
Understood, but
I
you're
guess
right.
I won the minimum. I didn't like the 5 on the turn, but I should have fired right through it.
On deck circle, 5 and a dime.
I like Phil's line.
Should have fired right through it. 7,000 and 15,000.
That one stung a little.
Stung a little. You just won like 7 times raising on the button. Garbage.
Yep, that one stung. Comes a little jack high on the flop. Ooh, spicy.
I'm not sure about this, but has Antonio's reaction to the check min raise on the
Go ahead.
turn when check to him always been to check back?
I'm not sure
After
either,
flatting? It does
statistically
feel like
speaking, but it does
it's
feel like
thrown the
there's been a
cuffs
lot of
on him
that.
a
Yeah.
little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a form of initiative, kind of. If
Let me see if I have a spade.
Yes or no? What's
announcing
the
a spade
verdict?
check.
Oh, he's got one.
900.
900.
Okay.
Bottom pair against second pair.
Call.
How big?
No spades anywhere.
How big, Philly boy, is the question.
Check. Check.
No second barrel. Now the 4th spade. Who wants it?
Probably 10's up for Phil will just be enough to check back. However,
Bet. 2,300.
Does he have too much hand to simply go away?
I kind of think so. He
Yeah.
sort of does as well. And take it down, sir.
2 pair.
The wrong spade
Nice hand.
is all Antonio can think there.
Yeah.
Philly boy did not come to fold, ladies and gentlemen. Now to teach this boy a lesson.
Oh.
Got to keep those hips open.
Yeah, I guess so. God, I mean, don't get injured out there, pal. I guess he knows what he's doing, but got a hernia out there. Oh.
This is compromising now.
Oh, God. I think we get the idea. I mean,
Nice hand.
Thank you.
Is that the alkaline water?
I don't know, buddy.
I don't think we supply that. I think that's a
15 more.
BYOW situation.
Raise up to
Don't think Hellmuth will get the desired action here. Maybe you will. The Jack 3 off, Ali. So, I mean, you got to be careful with these Jack 3 offs. Every once in a while, it's this. Let's see.
Oh, swing and a miss. Fortunately for Antonio.
2,000.
This should be it.
All right. I let's just, you know, sometimes you gotta let the Jack 3 go.
You know what we needed? We needed the old King 3-3 flop. It's hard to get though, you know what I mean? Or Jack high flop, that would be good. I would barrel every street with that hand.
We've touched on it before, Nick,
Probably
but
supposed to check that flop.
the style that
Let Pro
Antonio
fish stub.
brings,
Let Profish hang himself.
No,
Even
you
though-
might hit something.
Phil seems content to sort of
Mhm.
allow him to proceed with that game plan.
Call.
Go.
Check.
It
I had the
begins to
king
wear
this
thin,
last hand, Antonio.
getting leaned on, constantly pre,
What happened to the Jack 10-4 flop?
seeing
didn't make
C
it fair?
bets
See,
Check.
constantly.
Check.
the
I
thing
don't
that
remember my hand. This is a strange one.
kind of takes a
Check.
while to realize observing Phil, but I almost feel like I've had this epiphany is that it doesn't wear thin for him. That's what he wants. he really is a counter puncher. He really does almost revel in it when you come for him. Kind of like in a fight when you talk a bunch of smack before them, and then they come, you know, bull rushing forward, and the good strikers pick them apart and so on. I even touched on it before, his defensive kind of style. So I think a lot of us, one thing you can learn from Phil, obviously he's very emotional, and Antonio might have missed okay, but he's obviously emotional and can, you know, wear that on his sleeve.
We're starting to get some. We're starting to get up a little bit, huh?
Nice, poker is going up.
But I do think he likes
All right, time for me to run good.
when his opponents overextend and keep firing. I think what part of him likes it almost on a certain level, like it's what he is trying to do and induce. I think.
I think I agree with you.
Now.
He prefers the role of counterpuncher. But unlike in boxing, I'm wondering, can you really look upon Antonio's approach as potentially leading to him punching himself out?
Well, Antonio's a bit of an enigma. You know, he's capable of anything and very just difficult and tricky to deal with at all times, obviously, as we can see. I mean, that 8-5 off was a perfect example. This is a guy
What a
who
fantastic hand that was.
has Hellmuth defense and dark checks, clubs covered, but a lot of other ways this one can go. But yeah, there's some punching yourself out, obviously a crude analogy, but you know, I mean, this is really two different styles on display. The more sort of seemingly cautious, doesn't tell the whole story, inducey kind of style, and the bulldozer sort of run you over.
Sure.
Wow.
Only time
First
will
time
tell.
for everything.
But defensive with a dash of maniac.
I will be interested in
as
the
we've
hand
seen.
when
Oh,
you
a
made
big
it
dash.
19,000.
I had the nut flush. What else could I have? I made it. You bet I raised 19,000. Of course I had the nut flush.
You could have 7 high. You raised me with ace deuce once.
Just when you think you're dealing with a scoop of vanilla, it's actually vanilla bean, Nick. Madagascar vanilla bean.
Oh, here he goes, ladies and gentlemen.
What, do you think you were going to get through the whole broadcast and I was going to keep it together and be
What's
professional?
the difference between vanilla and vanilla bean anyway? Don't they just throw beans sometimes in to be
There's
fancy?
like those little
Does-
black flecks. It may
Yeah.
even just be a visual
I
thing.
don't know if that's
But it's not like I'm
right.
passing any taste tests.
Right. Wow. No?
Thank you for joining me on that small
You got it, buddy.
expedition.
You got it, buddy. No problem.
15.
Ace Jack 4 here, bottom pair for Hellmuth.
Should do it, does. You know, I mean, it's been a thing in sports. With defense wins championships. Obviously, this is all a stretch to compare this to that and so on. But the ability to be comfortable seemingly getting run over, to play that passive role, and to not overcompensate and to you know, wear it almost with pride is something that Phil really does well, where he kind of plays that character, and it's interesting to watch, especially heads up, because he's more active than it seems. He just takes passive routes early in hands.
Raise up to 2005.
Not sure I completely agree with the dark bet that he's put out there on a couple of occasions.
Maybe we don't agree with it in isolation, in a vacuum, in terms of raw EV, but as far as the overall metagame of the match, all of this, here we go. Here comes a really quick pass. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, my.
Is that a burger? Mm-hmm. From where? That burger place? Mm-hmm. There's nothing like a good burger. Really is the best. My favorite thing is a nice burger. You ever been to Father's office in LA?
Oh, great
No.
place.
Best burger in LA. So good. It's in Santa Monica.
The mask
Some of
goes
these
for
specialty burger shops are really nice, aren't they?
It's not even. It's like a bar, but they just have this most unbelievable burger.
Raise up to 2005.
I can't with the silhouette of the chewing behind the mask. I can just picture burger.
Go either
just
way.
everywhere.
You're right. You keep the mask off,
Could be
chew.
the one.
It really could be. I mean, we
By the way,
See.
Father's office that Antonio mentioned, fantastic burger, but you can't customize.
middle pair, top pair.
Not for me.
Hang on. The best burger on the West Coast. It's not for me over here.
You got to customize.
How deep is the menu? Do they only go standard, cheeseburger,
There's
regular?
like one burger, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, you know.
Man.
3,600.
I
Okay.
have a bad feeling you hit that 4.
Is he still chewing?
I don't know how.
No, but
We're on the turn. How
he
is this
needs a quid
possible?
or a 10 right now, buddy. I mean, let's see.
He needs a food processor to drink the rest of that thing. Aces and eights for good measure on the end.
What did he
Call.
come with here?
Call.
Looks like he's been snapped. How much did he bet, though?
How much?
Bet 10-8.
10,800.
Fuck me.
Well,
I raised one fucking hand in 3 hours, and he cooled me. Come on.
well,
You gotta raise it every
Hellmuth
fucking
certainly
hand,
has a
trying to
history
give
of
his money
complaining.
away. Doesn't understand strategy at all.
This plays so bad, heads up. No understanding of the true way you're supposed to play. Plays every
Anytime you
fucking
want to
hand.
double the stakes or play for more, add a taser gun, I'm available. I'll come to Vegas to play you every single day for the next year. We can have a contract.
Bro,
every day.
you know, I'll play you every day. I already told
Sure.
you. I'm not afraid.
I'm available.
It's
You
easy.
say it, but you don't actually do it. I'm ready.
I told you I'd play you anytime.
I'm ready.
Anytime.
I'm ready.
Luckier the
I
last
made
20
top
minutes.
pair 3 times.
I don't care. Who's been luckier the last 20 minutes now that the
20 minutes? Who cares about 20
what do you,
minutes?
because the blinds are like
what do you care about
5x.
20 minutes?
Oh, you don't care.
What is it? Is it 5 and 1?
Yes,
Yeah.
come on.
22.
Raise up.
the unluckiest thing at that table is the burger.
Every fucking button. I mean,
Call.
and I haven't
You've been
fucking
luckier the
tortured
last
him.
20 minutes. Oh, it's unbelievable. I should be lucky every minute of every match. 20 minutes. Can you believe this guy?
You'll get what you deserve.
It's unbelievable.
Check.
Trip jacks right on cue for Phil.
Right?
Check.
Check.
Checking double.
But Antonio choosing not to bet. Somewhat
Check.
damp board texture there. Is ace high content to check back on 2 streets now.
$2,000.
Ray, would you kindly put that over on his stack? Give it to him.
Yeah,
Call.
I got it.
Well, you certainly maximized. It's all about maximization.
What do you want?
You know what I mean?
You bet.
Hellmuth?
You bet
When
30.
you flop trips, you got to get maximum. And you
What do you
really,
want?
that one, you nailed it to a T. Nick
bet.
Schulman has Nick Schulman, have you ever seen maximization on that level? How pure was that? I mean, it's unbelievable.
When you're done talking, I can make a comment.
I'm done.
You bet every flop. And you raised
Yeah,
every
but you had
button
trips. Why would I bet?
And bet every. But you bet when you were dead 4 other times and made your heart and your straight and all that bullshit. What do you mean? I know you're going to bet every flop. What do you, I was unlucky. All you had was ace high.
Wow. You know, there is a lot of pressure on Phil for this match. I mean, maybe pressure's wrong, but it's weird. If he loses this one, all of a sudden he's stuck, and it feels like he's kind of not had control because Antonio had the lead a lot last match and some funky hands. But you know, it feels like he's had the momentum for a while now, and all of a sudden the sobering kind of reality can creep in to where it could be Antonio who starts to take charge. I mean, look at this guy. Got the high knees going. I mean. Oh, okay.
Got to keep those quads loose.
Oh.
You ever do yoga, Nick?
I've done it.
Not for you.
Folded a button.
I never
I
got
should
into it,
shut
but
my
it looks
mouth.
great.
I
You
fold
know,
them all the time. That was the 3rd one today.
Really? In the last match, how many buttons did you fold?
Are we talking about the last match or today
I asked
or
you.
20 minutes?
I asked you the
I don't
last
know how
match.
many. I don't know. Probably a couple.
Yeah, and how many did you fold today?
3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
You're playing really well, buddy.
It's
Not as
on,
well as
Ollie.
you.
Did you do the hot yoga?
I have, yeah.
That's disgusting.
Ah, come on.
Not for you.
Let's relax. And
No.
Let's relax and show them what we got. You know, I could have folded for 12K that hand where you had ace 8. It was tilting that it was like the second hand of the match I raised. You know, not that you're paying attention, but 25.
Raise up
Okay.
2,500.
Clubs covered once more. Raise to 2,500 and call. 5-5-4
Check.
on the board.
Both of them with the same kind of situation. backdoor open ender and the clubs and the overs. Still
Double
checking.
paired board now.
Check.
35.
Bet 3,500.
Sometimes you gotta fold the best hand, Ray. It's just the name of the game.
Turn bet.
It hurts, but
Takes it
someone's
to
got to
Phil.
do it. Poker wouldn't be poker unless people fold the best hand sometimes. Right, Philly boy?
You know, most of these matches I fold the best hand 3, 4, 5 times. What really matters is whether you win.
That's true.
Small caliber shot fired there.
A little more than a small caliber, buddy. I mean, you know.
Well, I thought the match might be over once I started making great reads on you.
Yeah, but then I texted Maury to take a break, and he came and delivered.
Well,
I needed that.
I think the break was good for you. I think
Yeah, I
the
did
break
feel
was
a little
really good
alone
for
there.
you. I was begging him to keep playing. You had just raised me with ace high, and I called you with jack high. And I was like, all right, this is it. He's going to sail.
I've been known to sail.
If you weren't bluffing with ace high, like I smelled the weakness, if I win that pot, then you have 65.
Big difference.
So I figured you're just going to bluff it off to me.
Yep.
Ace
25?
queen here
Raise
for
up
Phil.
to 2005. Call.
Ace 5 for Antonio could be trouble.
Check.
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 Jack 10-7. Ought to keep Esfandiari out of the woods, though it goes check, check. Hellmuth with
Check.
2 overs in the Broadway gutty.
25.
2005.
best hand winner.
Yeah.
Oh, it's warm in here, no? A little toasty.
Feels like Phil's a bit less rusty.
It's a perfect temperature in here.
Well, you think that was just contrarianism there? at its
Maybe right. It never stops with it. It feels like Phil might be like a bit less rusty poker-wise because he's so much more topical and playing and competing. But at the same time, there's an emotional investment aspect there that might weigh on him a bit more. I feel like Antonio can kind of shake off a loss here and continue on. You know, where Phil really takes it home with him. So it's,
What is going on here?
you know,
I don't play bad hands. I've shifted. I'm going Phil Hellmuth on Phil Hellmuth.
Well, just give me the match. Stop folding the buttons, son.
son.
How am I going to beat you? You erased every button last match. Wow.
Gotta change strategies. You came out firing today. I didn't expect that.
I'm so silly. I always tell people what they do wrong, but most people don't listen.
Do I listen or no?
Obviously. I made fun of you for playing every button.
That's right.
Pointed out how
I
lucky,
folded
and all of a
'cause
sudden
your
now you
advice.
folded 3 in a row. Well, I don't know. You folded twice in the first 2 hours, and now you fold 2 in a row? That's impossible for you.
Well, on the topic of rust, Nick,
Call.
I mentioned
one here.
earlier that Antonio's last live heads-up event was back in 2016.
His last live cash, I believe,
Correct.
is what. Yeah.
And for Phil, it was as recently as January of 2019.
Right. And I mean, Antonio, of
and
course.
he won
is-
his event. by the way.
Right. And I mean, Antonio's played a lot of live poker, you know, cash games and all this, but these tournament-y kind of formats, it's true. Hellmuth is more polished at this point. That's a fact. We got the deuce 3-4. We got the back door. Do we have a continue if we're Phil Hellmuth? Let's see. No.
Keeping it snug, and after
That was the one, Philly.
all these
I had a bad
levels,
feeling you had something, but
That was the one I thought.
stacks roughly even.
Right.
Buckle up.
could have gotten myself in trouble with that hand.
We're in for the long
I
haul.
wish you would
I
have.
did the last match, but then I blasted it through.
I wish you would have. Yeah.
You almost called me with ace high. Remember that match, that hand last time?
I swear if I had more time, I would have thought about it. I probably would have called you. But I was out of time, and I was so discombobulated. And all right, there's another one for you.
8-3 off, not enough.
Truth to that too, Ollie.
The man can be taught. He can be taught.
Just the merits of time
Figured
banks
out
that
you're
are.
supposed to fold a nice percentage of the buttons. All it took was me telling him
Wow.
and him realizing how lucky he got those 5 hands.
So much jockeying out there.
A lot.
That's all it took, Antonio.
That's it. Just a little wisdom by Phil Hellmuth, and I can adjust. So
It's
I
okay.
appreciate it. I've learned a lot watching you throughout the years. You've been a big inspiration to my poker career, how I play. And I'm truly honored to call you a friend and sit at the same table with you. I'm still struck 20 years later.
Call.
Call.
Check.
We got it all out there, Nick. A little patronizing, a little
Everything.
condescension.
Some reverence, some
Facetiousness.
genuine animosity. I mean, it's all on display here.
Check.
15.
Same kind of hand class here.
Little white puck.
For the
Advantage
record,
Hellmuth.
Nick and Ali, I liked it. I liked the match more when we were gangster. It was much more fun.
Wow. You're pretty gangster now,
Gangster
pal.
left is out the window.
I mean,
Antonio cannot stay patient long. Although I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it in cash games where he just plays super patiently for a long time. In tournaments, he just full throttle.
I'll crack. I
You
always
do have all
do.
the gears. Gangster's more fun. I need you out there on a limb.
It was more fun. You want gangster? I'll give you gangster. How about
Raise
that?
Up to 2,200.
Take that.
Call.
Every match does have
How do you
phases.
not re-raise my dark raises, you nit? Wow, what a monster to wake up to. Woohoo!
Check.
Way above what I
Esfandiari.
expected.
Trying to
3-3-9.
bring this one back into the
3-3-9.
gangster phase, as they've lovingly referred to it. 10-8 deuce. Hellmuth's dominated king is turned into the best hand here.
2,300.
Dark raise followed
Call.
up with a C bet of 2,300, which gets called.
let's see where this one goes, Holly. These dark raise kind of spots are always weird.
Check.
Check in dark.
Some outs now.
Yeah, open ender.
Can lean on the deuce, can even lean on the 8x with no future like 8-5 and so on. I think we might put some meat out here for Antonio, but he does come with the check. It is a dark race spot after all, so he has 100% range, although his button range is pretty similar to
Check.
that.
Check.
Deuce. King.
He feels like he can't quite get over that
Could
momentum.
have been
hump,
worse if you had
Antonio.
something. You,
That's exactly what
king
that
would've been
size says.
Right.
on the river?
At any time.
No. I would have made kings and deuces.
You can do it, buddy.
I mean, actually, if you think about it, you're supposed to look at your whatever, and you're supposed to make it 3K, and then you're supposed to bluff 3K on the flop.
I almost bet the turn. I think you're done if I bet the turn.
How can I fold? It's a pair.
Pretty sure with that hand on that board on the turn, you're done.
You had a dark hand, right? You raised in the dark.
Dusty 9 tray. Phil's turn to fold the button.
There you go. I'll do Phil Hellmuth and fold the button like I'm supposed to with that hand. So you adjusted, huh? Gonna fold some buttons?
Yep.
I can't bust you in 20 minutes anymore.
Nope.
The 20 minutes is past.
It's out the window.
That's okay.
You know, Nick, perhaps now would be a
We're
good
not done
opportunity.
gangstering it.
We're not?
Well, you're not, and and then you force me.
Yes, sir.
Address the passing of one of the greats in our sport,
Right,
in our
up to
industry,
2,300.
Mike Sexton, recently succumbing to his battle with cancer. Very few of us knew about it. It came on quite quickly, the news that
That's the
He was
fun.
suffering
You'll
and,
get way out of line, and I see it, and I get way out of line, and then you get back out of line, and all of a sudden we have the 100 each in, you know?
his
Yep.
passing obviously
Sometimes you gotta just go with it.
I'll have
bringing
like
great
third
sorrow to
parent,
many
you'll
of
have
us in the
like a
community, and I know I speak for
straight and a flush draw.
myself, and I'm guessing you as well with regards to the debt of gratitude that we owe to Mike for having opened so many doors.
Yeah. I mean, you know, pioneer, ambassador, that all gets thrown around. Very influential in the way we all kind of view the game. I mean, Mike was the real deal. He's a legend, and, you know, he's immortalized himself in the game, and just, I mean, what can you say, you know? Rest in peace. Love Mike. I mean,
he very much
Mr.
embodied
Sexton.
and proved that one can excel, succeed, and still conduct themselves with class and dignity.
Yeah, and he really was very, you know, there's so many people coming out of the woodwork with stories of him just being personable and nice, looking people in the eyes. I've seen it for years, you know, he just always treated everybody well. I mean, the reception to, you know, everybody loved Mike. And I mean, yeah, just from a sheer poker standpoint, what he did for the game was immeasurable. He called it like a sport. He broadcasted it like a sport. He didn't say too much. He got in, he got out. And he made it exciting for all of us and treated it like serious business. There it is.
Well, this is our effort
It's
to
a lot of career winnings.
make this feel like a sport as we keep stats. And not too many people in that 20 million plus club. That is elite territory, certainly for these two guys. And I'm sure that
The biggest risk is aerosol.
they join us in sending our
You're
thoughts
right.
and prayers to Mike's
So
family
you do you. I'm
during
just,
this
you know.
difficult
Oh, you're
time.
right.
Of course, endless condolences for them.
Should have washed my hands before that bite. Actually, I didn't even touch the burger. I touched the paper.
Well, I mean,
Boy,
I accidentally followed your advice on that one, Antonio.
God. Oh, man.
oh,
That is just
6-12. Okay.
Australopithecus. That is.
oh my God. Is he
Look at
going?
this follow-up to the burger. What is that? Is that Black Forest gummy Sour Patch Kids?
He's
What a
going
washdown that
instant.
is.
How can you eat that crap? I mean, it hurts me to watch you eat it. What's wrong with you?
But you're okay with the
The ROI is so bad.
you're okay with the cheeseburger.
Well, at least there's some protein, like it's food. There's absolutely no benefit to eating that besides 4 seconds of enjoyment in your mouth.
Well,
What it
to
does
be
to your
fair,
body is not worth those 4 seconds. That's all I'm saying.
God.
I get 25 seconds out of it.
Well then,
Listen, forget about the
6 and 12, huh?
speed, the turnaround from burger to the sour to the sour bear or whatever that is. That turnaround there is that's the quickest turnaround I've ever seen. I mean, he had a bite of the burger that he was
I'm gonna
still
raise 4,400 more.
marinating on, and here he's dropping bombs with ace four. I mean, it's
Jealous
on.
chipmunks
It's
are out
on.
there
And you
right
know
now.
what? If he felt like he needed a little sugar, he just said, "I'm going in." I mean, it doesn't, you know, anything to win. I mean,
One must be in tune with their body.
you know, listen, wow. Okay, Antonio, the 9-8 position, and we have a dark check. See how this one unfolds, Ali. I mean, 11-2 out there.
Guy is so sticky, isn't he? In position. When he's got himself an open ender with 2 overs here.
And Phil with bottom pair in the heart also has a little something, so probably check call is likely, but you know, you never know with Phil. Looks like he goes pretty big.
7,300.
Does.
Yeah. We're starting to play a little big boy poker in this pot.
Yeah. Have a count up. Probably check call coming, but again, I mean, you just don't know with Phil. He can just go 18K here, kind of out of nowhere.
I call.
Just call.
I check.
Over 25 in the middle now. Dark check from Phil. And the turn gives Antonio the nuts. That could let Phil get away here.
Yeah, it's of course not a welcome turn card for Phil, and it could let him get away. Do we even consider checking a little bit if we're Antonio? Probably not, but it's...
Why not, Nick?
I think just with the two-tone, there's a certain amount of hands that just must continue all of the flush draws.
Okay.
A 3 has to continue in a major way. An 8 has to continue, and even over pairs might take a card off, and it's kind of the same thing. We pursue the street now and see. But maybe a smidge of checking is okay just to protect weird river bombs and stuff like that. But
Nice hand.
And the future too bleak
give
for
a
the
bottom
ace
pair.
4.
Right.
Wow. I mean, I just can't fucking punish this guy. He called 5,600 with fucking like 10-8 suited or some shit fucking hand. Gets away with it. It's just so frustrating.
Way worse than that, Ali. I mean,
He knows I have it. Wow. Okay, so be it. I'm gonna need jacks to hold up, I guess. But you'll probably have 10-8, so it should be easier.
Call.
Go.
Right on cue. Good looking King Jack to maybe lower the core temperature. Oh,
2,000.
ladies' night.
And back 2,000.
3 queen flop. King Jack high is best. Both cards play. As Antonio check calls with the inferior king high. Both players bink the king. No kicker issues now.
4,000.
Back 4,000. Raise to 10,000.
oh, Phil has to be semi-breathless right now. I mean, of course, off we go, but it's a hair uncomfortable, and maybe this river goes check or something cute from Antonio, call from Phil. But as we see, chop it up.
Oh boy, I would have liked to see Antonio put some heaps out there
Both check.
under the presumption that Phil doesn't flop quads there and really ask the question of the other king.
You call it fucking 2,000 with king fucking 7 again.
Did you,
Fuck, come on.
he stood up again.
He got
Make sure you got
king
it.
fucking 7 this time.
Wow. He lost, he tied King Jack to King 7. Do you know how many times I lost when you had the worst
Are you
kicker?
kidding me?
You
have
chopped
no,
it.
You are
What's
the
the
most
big deal?
clueless guy I know.
What's the big deal?
You are the most clueless
It's a pretty standard
guy I know.
hand. We both had a bone.
I've been
chop.
playing you for 2 matches. You raised every button. No one's ever beat me raising every button before. I beat everybody. They just give their money to me. And somehow you're still alive. You finally figured out, hey, I'm not supposed to raise every button. But you've managed to call 4,400 more with God knows what. I can't wait to see that hand. And get lucky there too. It's okay. I'm still going to beat you. You just don't quite have the patience.
Boy, run a couple of Seroquel tabs out there. Is that the?
Is that an antipsychotic, Ali?
I think a bipolar medication.
No,
if I'm
I
not
think
mistaken.
that's
Is it
for
that's for
more-
schizophrenia, isn't it?
I believe so. Yes. Wow, you've really outdone yourself there.
600.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know,
10,000.
You raise
Phil's
to
being totally
7,000.
genuine here as he.
He snaps
Just
so
about
quickly,
4
though, it
X's,
feels
right?
like.
Oh, he'll go into insta kind of act on his decisions mode, which I love about him. Honestly, that's a unique subset of players that have that gear to act instantly.
And it works so
Hennigan
nicely in
has
these
a-
moments right here, where he has like the ace queen wake up.
And it's, of course,
And second one then.
looks like Antonio's just barely out of there.
10-6. Garbage cockadoodle.
And Jack 10 is downed. As we flash back to some more memorable Phil Hellmuth rants.
I'm just gonna let you bluff off your money, bro. Come on.
Yum, yum.
Yeah, now everything's good. Now that you called 12,000 with a 7-5 offsuit and barreled all 3 barrels. Now everything's good. You want everything back in that one pot, playing like crap. But when I do re-raise you, I 100% expect you to call.
Of course.
And try to bluff.
I do. We do what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to trap me, and I'm supposed to bluff into you.
Call 1,200.
Go.
Well, I guess everybody knows their role in this relationship.
Some truth to that, Ali. Hellmuth with the lone 9. Good star. Esfandiari possibilities.
12?
1,200.
And he is in this insta decision mode right now. I mean,
And call.
Spade draw against middle pair. Check call from Antonio.
middle pair at least.
Yeah.
Now the open ender for Antonio.
Prospects improving.
34?
34, 3,000.
We can try to speculate on that second card. I mean, two pair is now becoming much more real just based on this sizing with
this texture, too.
with this
right?
texture,
Yeah.
sure. And Antonio, I believe, is reaching for the semi-bluff.
11,000.
And he does, and we have one brewing here, Ali. It looks like he's... Yeah, the pump fake always gets me, but I thought maybe he was just about to be snapped.
I'm a little less convinced of the prospects of two pair for Phil now.
Still possible, but I hear you. You still have to be scared, though.
10 seconds.
No, it's the 5. Right, you are, Ali.
Slightly useful, though, insofar as
you
it
really have like 10-7.
does give him the gut shot straight draw.
Time extension.
Yeah, I think the 5 of spades is
Time extension.
kind of bad, though. Blocks a
Oh,
lot of
time
bluffs.
Extension?
Yes.
Okay. You called it on me.
I didn't. He did.
Yeah, I stop it with
He said it, not me.
I understand. So, got it.
Antonio seizing the opportunity.
Yeah,
right
he went
there.
over by a second or two. And it is what it is. If you go over 30, you relinquish an extension. I mean, plain and simple.
And Phil's running
Hellmuth
lean.
didn't fight it, and he didn't fight it. I mean,
He's running lean
For
on
the,
those
record, for the
extensions.
record, I would have never called it on you. But I shouldn't have said anything, and I apologize. You know what? If it's okay with you, I would like for him to have his time extension back.
It's okay. I might have been half a second over, but it was close.
It was like 1.5 seconds, but I think the intent was to fold. So
yeah, I mean, I had my cards up like this.
I'm happy you get it back.
No, I can't accept it, but thank you.
I agree with Phil there. I mean, if it's over, it's over. You know, that's it.
I got to say, that one hurt. That one really hurt.
Well, that 9-5 wasn't out of the woods, but it was in the lead at the time it hit them up.
And when you go big with a hand like middle pair there,
should
that's
just raise
some
with
of the problems that you encounter. But
And I had you dead.
And it's also a function of where Phil is right now psychologically in this match. Kind of snap mode.
bottom pair with a backdoor beats 2 unders with a backdoor, clearly.
100.
Does have the puck, though, as you like to say, Ali. That
Yeah.
little white puck in front of him. So will that carry him to the promised land?
Very welcome
Probably
turn
not.
for Phil. He now makes 10s and 3s.
Ooh, a little check open fold.
Just this way, I don't do anything stupid.
Very
You know what I mean?
nice.
You prevent the future.
You know why that's?
You know.
Do you know why I'm tilted about that?
Why?
Because I just turned 2 pair. The 3 made me, and then you folded. I'm like, what the? I just turned 2 pair, and I'm trying to figure out how much I can get.
Pretty
And you just
remarkable.
folded.
Yeah, I think good for Phil to say it as opposed to silently, weirdly steaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get it out.
Yeah, he got it right
Let's
out.
finish this off. You can do it, buddy. I believe in you.
Call.
All right.
Beneath all of the jousting, though, Nick, I do genuinely get the sense that these guys, no matter how much of a torture chamber it is, enjoy competing against one another very much.
Yeah, I think so. We all need a rival in these competitive kind of spheres. I mean, I think you're right, Ali. Although what you said before does ring true. Does Phil have a little chip on his shoulder versus Antonio based on, you know, prior kind of history? Maybe. But I think they enjoy it, yeah. But you feel like you could feel Hellmuth really wanting to kind of close this chapter almost, so to speak, get this dub-dub, you know.
Listen, I think this really, for him, is a meaningful opportunity to put to rest
Yeah.
this
Some
800-pound
closure,
gorilla,
kind of,
a little
right,
bit of closure.
I mean, that queen. I could have checked back when that 8 popped off.
Which 8? Which one?
When it came queen 9 6.
Oh, I had a big hand.
Raise to 2,600. Call.
Check.
Again, battle of the clubs.
With that.
Big ones this time. And not a club to be found on the flop, though Esfandiari turns into a pair of 8s.
Close.
Make that 3 snowmen.
3,200.
Oh, some representation, perhaps.
1,200.
ill-timed purchase effort.
Raise to 10,200.
And I mean, I like this raise with trips, nut kicker. The hand is very strong, but we do see.
Back to gangster, huh? Antonio?
It was gonna happen.
We're back to gangster. Good bluff.
You see one particular example we're calling as merit. Sometimes they just have
Nice
no
starting hand
outs
there.
at all.
Okay, I don't mind if you gangster it, just so long as when I catch you, you don't suck up. I always tell people that, they don't understand. I don't mind being bluff, but when I finally get you just locked up, don't just hit the miracle on me, you know what I mean?
Who's hit more miracles in these matches, you or me?
I mean,
You want to bet on who's hit more miracles? What Nick Schulman?
You know, Antonio.
Just offering a bet.
What's interesting to me is you don't understand the math, which is fine. So, who's
I'm a
been
feel
luckier?
guy. I don't know the math.
You
I'm
raised
a feel
every
guy.
button for fucking 5 hours and somehow are like ahead against me. You raised every button in the last match and made it a match. Like you have
Could be 'cause
no
I'm
idea
better.
how bad that is. And now I got to listen to you tell me I got lucky.
You did.
What about all those hands
You
where
got
you
lucky?
just? What about all those hands just that happened recently where you made a
Go.
stupid ass raise on the button, got yourself trapped, and hit your miracle? What about all those?
7-6-4 rainbow here, top 2 pair for Hellmuth.
12.
1,200.
No patronage. Out of the 9 deuce.
Price of poker is going up soon, Philly boy.
I see that.
Oh boy. Philly boy. Boy, you really can change your gears, buddy. I gotta learn from you.
You know, it's funny. I was just
You
thinking
came
that.
out slugging. What do you mean?
You are the big gear changer.
No, not as much as you.
I was thinking Antonio is also a gear shifter, big time. You know, just as he said that, but about him.
Call.
Calling on the button.
The gear shift,
That's
Ollie.
not your style, buddy. That's my style.
Typically not my style.
I think it's a pretty compulsory
know, you
aspect
get
to a
too
winning
far away from your
heads-up
style, Mike.
strategy.
Gear shift.
You know?
Got chop for Antonio. I believe bottom pair for Phil.
Indeed.
It is.
Call.
3-2 chip lead for Antonio at present.
Check.
Check.
A little leaning on the deuce here.
Call.
Oh, and another street
434.
crossed by bottom pair.
Antonio still only a 3-1 dog here.
Check.
Check.
I think Antonio has a really good sense of Phil's range on this board. It feels like a 6
One
or
pair.
a deuce.
Yeah.
And he must be wondering, what's the number to get Phil off of it?
8,000.
Antonio really does have nice composure and just like mannerisms at the table live. The way he goes about his business, I mean, he's got the smoothness, you know. He just barrels off with such seeming ease, you know. It's
And I don't think the range is polarized by the queen and the ace here. It's the kind of texture that Antonio is
yeah, he could be
very
he could,
apt to value.
he could even be value betting something like Jack 9.
Sure.
So it makes it more complex for Phil. A lot of misses, a lot of value.
Time extension.
I don't have any time extensions. My hand is dead.
There it is.
Officially
I mean,
out
yeah.
of time extensions, and that could prove very challenging
Yeah, it could.
should this match get into the later streets.
Maybe it'll help him in a
I've
way.
seen the show before.
Instincts, but
You win most of the pots.
I wonder
I
whether or
almost
not
moved in there.
Antonio would be more
think
I
inclined
wasn't
call.
calling.
Yeah, I don't think you can call.
I can't call a shove.
Yeah.
to put Phil
I
to
think it
big
was the right
decisions
move, but you're going to value bet 9 so hard against me. I got to shove there sometimes.
with the knowledge that he has no time
Good
banks.
kicker.
and a really insightful statement there from Phil, with some depth to what.
Missed a shove there. That would have been
Regarding
nice.
the
That would've hurt.
Pulled the trigger.
value betting the 9s.
Yeah.
Should have pulled the trigger.
That
Would have
would've
been
really
one
hurt.
more. It would have been one more.
The way he fashioned the statement, though, I have to have some shoves on the end. I mean, you should have some shoves in a lot of spots anyway, but saying that,
Sure.
you know.
You get that one, Philly.
It would have been one more for the highlight reel.
That's for sure.
Ace king gets no
Should have
post-flop
pulled the
action.
trigger. If you're going to make those those light value bets on the river, that's where I got it. That's why I got lucky when you had the 3 kings. I thought you were lighter than that.
Yeah, you didn't think I had a king.
No, I probably went to going for it with.
Yeah,
I knew
of
that.
course.
But I know that even if you have 2 pair, you're going to call me. But
Raise to 2,400.
call.
Call 2,400.
Missed and all in. That would have been sweet. Check.
2,400 ahead. Dark check. 8-5 tray. Top pair for Antonio. $2,800. 2008.
Well, he's back to his old tricks. Raise every button, bet every flop.
He's back.
I let him get away with it, and then
He's back.
let me finish my speech, and you can do yours. Let him get away with it, and then when I check raised him 5 times, he outdrew me all 5 times. He thinks I've been lucky. It's coming soon, I can promise you that. You're raising every button, and I'm about to show you a little something, something.
What's the actual time in the real world? I mean, we're not close to 8, right?
816? 816 now.
I got it.
Oh, we're good.
6:32.
We're good.
Yeah.
On the big blind,
Would it be weird if I went out there and asked Phil for some Sour
What did
Patch
I
Kids?
do? I should have moved in on him.
Yeah, it would be a little bit weird, Ollie.
With all that.
Can always count on
Alright,
you as
Phil.
my professional compass.
You know?
I'm going to name
Call.
you Polaris.
call
Go.
My guiding light, Nicholas.
Okay, Ollie, thank
take
you.
King Antonio.
Sure.
Boy, how
I'll
many
take it,
times are
Gil.
we going to see
Yeah.
clubs go up against each other?
It has been an unusual amount, but we've seen no real pain.
Yeah, not one shared flush draw yet. Could this be the one? Nope. Hellmuth with king high and the wheel draw
2,100,
Right.
2,100.
against the threes.
5,600.
5,600 now. Raise to 56.
I don't mind this, Nick, on this texture.
Don't mind it either. Antonio sized up a little bit. He went like 40%. I shouldn't say sized up, but, you know, it's,
All right.
I would think it's a thing with the gut shot and king high, sure.
And
yeah.
Phil can very credibly have an ace in
Yeah,
this
a
spot,
lot of
given
stuff.
the way he approaches those
Now
hands
he has
pre.
a straight,
then
and Antonio with a little backups
binky.
to the straight to the 6. So, I mean, probably he's just check folding, but if there was ever a 3 to continue with,
15.
it's this one as far as just the 3x.
and also the presence of the 2 spades on the flop,
Yeah,
obviously.
we can't call 15, though, but right. I shouldn't say that. Maybe we take the 6 to glory. I mean, let's see.
And second warning.
Weighing it over.
Fold.
Does fold.
You bluffed me on that one for sure. Ah. You got a bluffy on that one, Philly boy.
Well, let's flash back to some more memorable moments.
61.
Often we're done, but he's coming with
Oh.
61, Ali.
I think he would simply call and then maybe on the river.
I agree. And wow,
Barf bag to the main game.
6 is full of 5s, and I mean, and I would be kind of content going
32.
smaller. I like this.
And Phil,
I really like that
got a
size,
5.
actually.
kidding me?
I got a fight.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? You want to talk about luck? How lucky are you, buddy?
You know, I got to give it to
8-16, right?
Antonio.
16
He
raised
conducted
to
himself with
3,000.
slightly more composure than I might have been capable of in that context. I actually have ingested aces once upon a time in Tunica, Mississippi. I think I've shared that story
Both of them?
before. Both aces.
You
into my
crumpled them
mouth,
up and then
crumpled,
swallowed them with
chewed.
water, or you
I
chewed them?
spat them out at the waste bin near the podium and continued to walk out of the room,
Wow.
given that I knew the penalty was coming.
Well, oh, it was in a tournament.
No, it was a cash game.
You're right.
But,
Still, it turns out putting the cards in your mouth
I
is
was
frowned
asked
upon.
not to
Yeah.
return for some time.
Ah. That,
Probably for the best.
well, the legend grows.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
Top set, run into running quads. That'll happen.
My God.
Right?
I mean,
Just saying.
yeah. Top set running quads.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
990 to 1.
Yep. I took one of those against David Williams, actually.
Really?
Yeah, well, I flopped quads, and he hit me with the running straight
No.
flush. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. 5-5 deuce.
that's
42?
gross.
I think he had ace-3 with the back door. I didn't eat the cards, though, Ali. I just said nice hand,
Well,
you know,
you're-
got out of there.
You're
Yeah.
a better man than I am.
No, I didn't say that, but
No, I did. Ace king against king 9 here.
mildly brewing, but about to be a wrap,
Raised
we would think.
17,000.
I think as Hellmuth feels the match, not necessarily slipping away
Oh, it's
from him,
slipping away a bit. I mean,
that's when the gangster begins.
well, it's
to
what we were
surface.
it's what we were talking about before. Would you rather play him when he's winning or losing?
Right.
Certainly when he's losing. The gangster, especially because he carries an air of kind of unhinged about him, and it's genuine. You know that this gangsters sometimes they just kill somebody out of nowhere. You know, he puts
has no more
stack in
time
sometimes
extensions.
out of
On
nowhere.
30, his hand is dead. Okay?
Okay.
I'm saying, Antonio.
Just make sure you call it right, because if he, you know,
So I
It's
just
very
raised
important.
hands there.
yes, on 30 seconds, his hand is dead.
Pass it.
Very interesting, Antonio. You want to try to win every pot, I guess.
Everyone's got a style.
You knew I had it, but you might have had me just beat. I don't know. Might have just thought I was going crazy, even though I haven't at all. Okay. At least I'm going to get some blue chips quick when I start winning pots.
That's true.
You're not good at protecting chips.
That's true.
You're good at blasting.
Very good at blasting.
Oh.
It's my specialty. I'm a blaster!
Raise 7,000 more.
7,000 more.
Well, here we go.
1,600 total.
All right.
Fold.
Little 6x, just to wake him up a little bit, Ali.
Sure. Had him dominated. And note that Antonio isn't necessarily playing into it right now. I don't think he buys the notion that
Oh,
this
he's
is strictly
small-balling a little
Come
bit.
quick
gangster.
when I start winning
Right.
pots. That's my prediction.
Just the 10-8 might have been a
If I
little
start winning
stickier
pots,
earlier in the
maybe I'll just
match,
win
not
every pot.
now.
Who knows?
Hard to do against me, but possible. Call.
Call.
Go.
Check.
Well, back to small ball. Both players share a jack.
Check.
Ace 6 deuce. No connection.
3.
Neither holding.
3,000. Fold.
And Hellmuth will collect this one.
I think you're right, Ali. It does feel like right now, just this current pocket of the match, Antonio is kind of in the play normal, relatively speaking, to heads-up poker and try to kind of,
I think it's a direct function of realizing this is the upper boundary he reached.
yeah.
And if he can stretch beyond here, I think he feels like he's going to be able to really put his thumb on Phil.
And he doesn't want to let Phil back in this thing for no reason. You know, Phil's a bit discouraged. He's a little handcuffed stack-wise.
And with the blinds where they are now, it's a lot easier to claw oneself back into the match because these pots are bigger.
Yeah, and right now Phil has, less than 50 bigs. So, I mean, Or excuse me, it's still 6-12. I saw the next level, but you know he's
Folded the
approaching
button
that
again.
territory where
No, we're playing 8-16.
Oh boy.
I think we're playing 6-12 right now.
Are we?
I want you to raise every button like you usually
But I
do.
only want to have a hand. You know that.
It does say 8 out there,
I
but
don't
it,
raise
but it just said
garbage.
6
I
to
gotta
call.
have something.
Dude, you folded like one button in our last match in the whole match.
I had to adjust. You adjusted, so I adjusted.
You
My
didn't
coaches.
adjust. You didn't adjust until I told you.
My coaches told me
You don't
to
have
adjust.
coaches. You came in cold.
You know me too well.
I made a mistake of saying you played too many buttons, and you started folding. You still got away with a bunch before you started folding, which is very tilting. That's why you have the lead.
Call.
Go ahead.
Check.
Why do I feel like this could be a big pot?
I don't think so.
I called it.
I don't think so.
Well, it would be ambitious.
I called it.
Call check.
Both players with a gut shot straight draw, courtesy of that 6 after a round of checking on the flop. 1600 bet call, board pairs on the end. This is really good 6th sense.
Oh, well
there.
done, yeah. Blocks Phil from bluffing for starters.
4,300.
Happen to have the best hand, but I think that was just the sense that the nature of Phil's check back on the
Yeah.
flop and then the quick call on the
everyday
turn was
match with heads up.
an unpaired sort
I
of
let,
hand.
them win. I let them win all the pots, and then I strike. Feels just like my every time match.
Couple of 10s for Antonio. A very interesting effective stack size right now, roughly 50. A quite looked at stack size.
3,638.
Call.
A lot of players out there navigate these 50 bigs awfully well.
12 bet.
A lot of experience at this point. Let's see. These spots
Check.
are a lot different than the deeper stack spots from before. Oh, top
Top
set for
set.
Antonio.
Yep, against second pair. Certainly an opportunity to extract more chips.
Right.
4,400 and call.
Comes with something like 2/3, and this one could get expensive for Phil Ali.
67 back now after
Check.
calling the 4,400. Dark check.
Tough spot here.
2,300.
Call.
Gingerly deposited 12-3 and a snap call from Phil. The wince on your face, Nick, suggests you're not in love.
No, that's not the wince.
Check.
Just a very uncomfortable situation. More of an I don't know wince, and he does check. The king of clubs, of course, is key, but nonetheless, he's probably about to be looking at a jam. Let's see. I mean, a jam would be something like 1.3x pot or whatever it is, and
Phil only
that's
has 54 back.
and that's
yeah.
in line with Antonio's kind of style anyway.
Second one.
All in.
Fair bet all in.
Just Helen, this is tough, Ali. The king of clubs is big here. Blocks all those flushes. Oof, dicey. I mean, I think you call sometimes with Phil's hand.
This is effectively a $100,000 call if Phil wants to make it, given that both players are in for that amount here.
Yes,
in
it
this
is.
winner take all.
And second warning.
No time extensions.
Maybe the turn we've... I don't think so. Is that a fold? Bravo.
Yeah.
Well done.
I think that Phil just has too much back
Oh my God in heaven. That hurts.
to want to decide the match then and there.
Seems
Great.
unbelievable. You must have had some big bluffs in there. Either that or I've just gotten super unlucky every pot for the last hour. Must have had some big bluffs in there. Maybe you're trying to give me the match already? You were? Wow.
I was trying to end it. You call, it's over.
It's true.
Question is, when did you get there?
I was there the whole time. Pre, post, turn, river.
Call.
Call.
Expect to see a little bit of small ball here from Mr. Hellmuth off of these 35 bigs or so, kind of
6,000.
his style. Of course, we're taking a flop here. Believe.
And I think Phil, historically speaking, has very much battened down the hatches once it gets to this
Definitely.
depth.
Definitely. More so than most, if
Sure.
not all, high-profile professionals, let's say.
Jack 5 tray as Hellmuth outflops the nines.
And this will be tough for Antonio at this stack depth.
8,383.
But Antonio is certainly going to adjust his perceptions of Phil's willingness to continue.
But it's just at this depth, Phil can have 5x, a little bit of 4-6. There's stuff we just beat, and yet we fall to all of the Jack X, and there aren't that many natural bluffs here, so I don't know if Hellmuth proceeds with a raise or a call, so let's see. But either way, these nines obviously are vulnerable, yet just good quite a lot. So it's a weird spot for Antonio.
5 seconds.
All in.
God, I knew you hit a jack. You're so lucky. You really are exceptionally lucky, Phil. I knew you hit a jack. I just know you hit a jack. Wow. How can I fold this? I mean, it's pretty insane.
10-second warning.
You'd probably rather call here with something like 10-5 of diamonds than this one, I believe. But still, it's hard to fold at this stack depth. It's awkward. Odd odds. You beat some stuff.
How much more is it?
You got 83.
Yeah, pull it in. Let's have a look, because I think I have to call.
I don't know what he has to do here. I think you mix calls and folds, I think. I mean, that's what it feels like instinctually, right?
Is there any merit to the idea that the 6-4 isn't in Phil's limping range at this point?
Well,
that
and he
battens down the
called a
hatch?
raise pre, so it kind of
Just
has to be
fold. You're
suited.
running over him.
Has to be suited.
Life is good. Top pair Hellmuth, huh? 30 what?
39,000 more.
39,000, huh, Philly boy? You want the double?
The
You could have
5.
ace 5.
Yeah, the 5x, 3x thing is real
Only
too.
the hand is 5. You're more likely to have a jack, but 10, 20, 30 something thousand in there.
Yep. Maybe you can get away. It's so awkward.
How long do I have?
10 seconds warning already. 6 seconds more.
All that hard work would be vanquished if he were to call and not
Yeah, I have until
improve.
when?
1 more minute.
Deep into the tank on this one.
I know you have a jack, Phil, but I think I just have to give it to you. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You really can do it. Top pair Hellmuth. Top pair Hellmuth, huh?
Does stick it in, Ali.
Jack.
Yep.
Knew it. God, I'm the worst, man. How are you so lucky? Ah! You're just dead. Such a fish. I knew you had a jack. Nice hand. God, you just always get it right at the right spot. No problem. The old Jack 5-3. No problem. You're blessed. Blessed. You really are blessed. You really are blessed.
Well, a 9 would be uncomfortable.
Especially on the heels of this speech.
You deserve it. Nice hand.
Listen, if you thought Chernobyl was bad, rip a 9 off this deck and sit back and watch.
Oof.
Close.
Four-sider.
Neighbor. Right suit, too.
I knew you had it. I was so sure. I'm such a fish.
Very nice right there.
Jack 8. No problem. Jack 5-3. Yep. Big spots. Phil Hellmuth never is lucky. Never is lucky.
I'm not the one that shoved in 49,000 with the second pair. What are you talking about?
Oh, and Hellmuth frosting that
I
kick.
heard it.
You're supposed to win that, you think?
How about just comes 8-5 deuce, huh? One time in your life, you have one out, a jack on the flop. That's it. How about a jack doesn't come? But no, of course not. Not Phil Hellmuth. He'll find a way to solve the problem. 16?
That's genuine frustration from
Yes, it
Antonio
is.
there because he
Yes,
chiseled
it is. Correct.
to get to where he was, and just
Yes.
like that,
Yes.
Hellmuth given the gift of the reset
Nice
button.
hand. You deserve that one. I'm a fish.
Just like that, a little
Super,
chip lead
super
for
fishy.
Phil. These 3 here for Antonio. One thing that's for sure is that when Antonio said, I know you have the jack, but this, that, and this, when Hellmuth says, I know you have the jack, usually he folds, Ollie. You know? It was a very just brutal spot, but you could tell Antonio knew he had the jack.
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I knew you had a jack.
Yeah. Yeah, he
You
did.
would have done it with a 5, but it's less likely you with a 5.
Check.
Queen 7-6 as the new chip leader. Phil Hellmuth checks it to the ace high.
That kind of cushy ace of spades stabs.
I can hear you. So
This is the way my matches go, you know. let
I
somebody
understand.
run
When
me
you need
over.
to, you make a hand. I mean, why
I
would
let
it come
you-
Jack 5-3?
I let you.
And let's
I
take a
let
look
somebody
back.
run me over, run me over, run me over.
back
and then
end of
they're
that
down.
last
That's just
hand.
come absolutely perfect for you to get those chips. Perfect. You got me. Nice hand.
Good battle, bro.
That was
I know
good.
you're re-challenging me.
Yeah, official. Correct.
Okay.
You can count on that. It's the luck box.
And that is the way things ended in round 1, the back end of the last hand. Ali Nejad and Nick Schulman, glad to have you with us here in round 2 of the High Stakes Duel between Phil Hellmuth and Antonio Esfandiari from inside the PokerGo studio here at Aria Resort and Casino. $100,000 a man, 200K up for grabs. This winner take all. Blinds at 1,000, 2,000, couple of premium holdings squaring off. Sharing the jack, 14,000 in the middle, and trip aces for Esfandiari.
9,000. Call.
Hellmuth.
Yeah, keeping him honest a little bit.
Yeah, staying
But,
curious. The lack of a diamond, though, obviously somewhat problematic. Deuce on the turn doesn't rate to have impacted things.
But
A lot of this is just pursuing value from an 8,
Now we're gangster.
so on.
Now you're gangstering it, Antonio. There you go. 1 or 2 more like that, please.
It's interesting how
1
contextually
or 2 more like that. Don't stop now, Antonio. Run
these
me
hands
over.
can take
I
on
should
the
have moved in
appearance
before the flop. That was my mistake.
being the function of being on one's back foot.
Yeah,
So
the,
to speak.
Easy move in before the flop.
poker's closed information element just makes it, you know, right there with the deepest games there are.
Yeah.
Just one.
We'll never totally figure this stuff out.
Before the flop. I thought I'd catch him bluffing off all of his money.
Raise up to 5,000.
From ace jack to ace 10 is suddenly Antonio being armed with exactly what one needs to reclaim the chip lead and do it in short
That's
order.
it, Antonio. Could you beat King Jack when it came ace, ace, 8?
It's hard to beat King Jack.
I was afraid you might have sixes or something. Just overplaying them. It's okay, I made a mistake. I should have shoved on you because you're so aggressive. I know you want to give me the match. You want to go back to your wife and kids, call?
Call.
Okay.
Check.
Just think, Antonio, blow the chips and you're done. No more pressure, you know?
Thank you.
You think playing you is pressure? It's pure joy.
I don't know, I think you...
Look at Phil
Pure
coming with
joy.
the neuro-linguistic programming here. She's trying. You're getting
How
sleepy.
about 4,000?
Right.
4,000.
You
Can you
want to
beat
go
5 high?
see your wife and kids. Punt.
That's gonna do it.
Swing and a miss for the 5 tray.
Ay-ya.
As the gutty bets and takes
I
it.
really thought after the jack hand you were just going to give it all to me. And maybe you tried to in the ace, ace, 8. God, why doesn't it just come king 4 deuce and you can just bet every street?
Yeah, I was ready to fire. How
Yeah.
about just jack high? Jack high would have been nice. Well, jack 3-9. Ooh, spicy.
Raise up to 5,000.
Come on, now's the time to hit some cards. He's playing every button again. He's on tilt. You know he's on tilt, whining about, oh my God, how unlucky am I? I put all my money in with 2 outs. I'm so unlucky, Phil.
Yeah, there's 30-something thousand in the pot. You bet 39,000. I mean,
I'm so
jack
unlucky,
5
Phil.
deuce. Of course you have a jack. Why wouldn't you have a jack?
I'm so unlucky, Phil.
No problem. Jack 8.
You sucked out all those hands, and you're unlucky. That's all right. You'll get it in dead again in about 7 minutes.
These guys would make a great pair of assisted living roommates. When they just set them on down to Shady Acres in their 90s, and just cut them loose with a deck.
I like it, Ali.
Oh, 7-8 turns into bottom 2 up against just a bottom pair.
25?
2,500. Call.
Pretty dire straights here for Antonio.
Certainly.
0.3%, not the best.
Deuce would be disaster. Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
I had no idea. That's
Check.
really sick for Esfandiari.
Could be sick in the form of a wrap. I mean,
Well, he's not covered, but certainly he could be dealt.
you're right. Stack
big
wraps.
blow.
I mean,
6,500?
because it's the kind of hand that seeks protection. It seeks value against top pair, or, you know, occasionally ace-ace. It obviously, you know, inflating the pot versus all of those draws
Yep.
at the moment is a good thing. I think we can definitely check call, but
Raise
Yeah.
up to 18,500.
I get it.
I mean, this makes sense. And if Phil continues with some outward display of aggression like all in, he's counterbalanced there by many draws that are possible in theory. Whether he takes that line or not, we don't know. But bottom 2, I don't think there's any getting away, Ali. This could be really a brutal
Listen.
cooler for Antonio.
If Phil comes with the 2 little words here, it's going to be a sinking feeling.
57,000?
Does.
Raise
Not the
up to
all-in, but
57,000.
57.
It's basically the same thing, Ali.
Yeah.
And
It beckons for the whole enchilada, doesn't it?
kind of cool how Phil didn't jam too. Maybe creating the illusion a little bit that he could even have just 0.
Does it, though?
Oh my God.
Does
How
it
can
look
I
milky?
possibly fold this? Are you really this lucky?
Wow.
He's thinking about it.
Pretty hard luck turn here for Antonio. Limp pre as well, so.
Listen, he's got
What could he do?
91,000 if he releases this hand right here, though, Nick.
There's no release in this one, buddy. I don't think. It's possible. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
It's
these
Phil.
big folds are yeah, it's Phil who had Jack 4 and
Wow.
check raised.
That's pretty insane.
I mean,
I guess I'm just not good enough to get away from it, Phil.
he feels it though, Ali.
Guess I'm just not good enough, my friend.
I've been there. Looking at you, Gabe Kaplan.
You just flop the old 7-8, King 8.
Hmm.
I'm just not good enough. I wish I was good enough, but I'm not.
10 seconds.
All in.
Low in.
You have
Low
two
in,
pair?
call.
Yeah, 7s and 8s.
Oh, you're so lucky, man. I knew what you had both times. How lucky can you be?
If I win, I have 81,000.
It's just unreal. Why can't I just fold? I know you have it. Gosh, you really are not a human being. 81.
Well, Antonio
Honestly,
not drawing dead.
What can I do?
I can hit that deuce, Ali.
I knew I was drawing dead. I'm such a fish. 81. Nice hand, Phil.
Yeah, it's 81 just to double check.
Yeah. Nice hand.
Just like that.
I can't do it, Dad. There's just nothing I can do. You know? Some guys can do it. Some guys can't. I just can't do it against Hellmuth. Yeah, it's so tilting, Dad. This guy is so lucky.
81.
Thank you.
And I gotta hear about how unlucky he is.
Just a
Oh, why can't I just fold that? I know I'm beat.
dozen hands ago, Antonio was in control of this match.
So bad.
Well, I mean, nature of the beast.
I was so sure you had me.
Now he's on the ropes.
How much? 15?
No, 1, 2.
1,000? Nice hand, Phil.
He needs a little spin up, Ali. Can happen. It's just tough to see a cooler like that. They've both fought hard. I think Phil really has played great. I mean, but, you know, Antonio's gotten coolered in some awfully
Sure.
big pots. I mean, he really has over both matches, and it's going to be hard to outrun that. And just 2 pair over 2 pair leaves you with a little, you hate to see him go down like that. But this is the life we've chosen. I mean,
How much do you have behind Antonio, roughly?
20,
Sorry to ask.
looks like he's coming with the limp
3,
off 13.5. Yes, Ali.
27.
Yeah, thanks.
I know they're different situations, but Phil has found the fold button
All in.
on numerous occasions and saved himself bundles of chips
You
in
know
this
what?
match.
That's true, and I do feel Phil would have folded those 9s were the roles reversed, and it's not like it's so easy to fold in that spot. Was, you know, visibly just, I mean, it's a painful kind of spot for 9-9, but yeah, you're right.
Fold. When you know you're beat, just fold.
And
Go
Antonio's
fish.
echoing that sentiment.
I knew
So
you had it. There's no way you didn't have it.
hard to fold 7s and deuces though.
Oh, I'm such a fish.
Certainly plenty of clarity from the booth when we can see the whole cards, and for those at home, and it does feel as though it's a lot easier than obviously it would be sitting up there.
Always that way. And yeah, I mean, 7s and deuces, I think it's just a continue. It's just a cooler, but
That Hellmuth 3-bet in that situation, and I hear you. It's the guy who has the maniac gear and shows up with.
it's not dust, but there's straight flush draws. There's the nut flush draw, maybe, probably not, and then like occasionally ace king. Is that a thing? Ace ace. You know, they're not that deep right now. It's just too tough to start folding 2 pair on the turn there, I believe. King 8-7 deuce.
Hellmuth
Pair of
really
5s takes it.
battening it down here.
Ooh,
Huge
man.
turn card for him.
Straight flush draw.
And,
Yeah, I do kind of like betting turn just in a limped pot at this depth. Such a tremendous range advantage over the big blind checker on King 10-9 versus most opponents. Some of the really super tricky
You only
ones
pay
show
me
up
off
with
the
some
5 of the 80
shockers. but-
diamonds
Sure.
cards, though.
gap still fairly wide in terms of preflop raising and c-betting.
You can limp, kids. You can limp and check all the time. And and win. I mean,
Is that an Etch-a-Sketch down there? Is that a heart rate monitor?
I don't know. I like this little green graph that we got going on.
I think it's the chip lead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Antonio needs spins, Ali. He's limping in 8-4 diamonds, 14 bigs. I mean, it happens.
Check.
Check.
Well, 2 diamonds on this flop. Esfandiari with the flush draw.
2,000.
Should be able to take it easily, as he does. And you are right, Nick. That 10 to 15 blind range. Hellmuth approaches it so much differently than most. Really nurses it.
He does some things really well.
I don't anticipate
Actually, but
Antonio approaching it the same way, though.
I don't think Antonio particularly likes this depth. I don't think he ever really has. He's a deep stack, no limit player by trade, kind of, is what he really, at the end of the day, where he cut his teeth, was playing deep stack, no limit cash games.
Yeah.
This whole 13, 14 big blind kind of nuanced stack size. Phil probably has more experience than Antonio. I think that's fair, and he's definitely fought off of that stack size more than him. Obviously, he's in the driver's seat now with the huge chip lead, but
King 10-4, all hearts.
Check.
Second nut flush draw for Esfandiari as it goes check, check. Queen high happens to be in the lead.
Four.
4,000.
Little full pot sprinkle. And
Whoa.
Esfandiari just
No.
lets go.
that's a mistake. That's a mistake if we saw that correctly. If there were 3 hearts on the board and he did indeed have the queen of hearts, which I believe is what we just saw, a check fold would be a mistake, but I find that you saw 3 hearts on the flop,
Yeah.
yes, Ali? I'm
Yes.
just making sure, because sometimes a diamond sneaks in there, and, you know, I've made that mistake before.
Sounds like the 4-color deck lobby.
I like the 4-color deck. Maybe one day, the live 4-color deck. We'll see.
Check.
I'm a purist.
Maybe not, though. I hear you. Again, clubs covered.
Check the flop.
Check the flop.
He even balances his dark checks with check the flop out of nowhere.
Open-ended on the 6-6-8 board.
2,000.
I think we have kind of a clear raise. Get it in here.
Call.
Comes a call, though, which is
Check.
okay. I
Check the
think
board.
the standard is just to raise, but
Check.
Nine. Smacks Phil. He now
6,500.
has the best hand.
6,500.
it would have been pretty classy to check there, just as it turns out. And I think a thing kind of anyway to consider, but take it down, Phil. Onward they fight.
Classy in what sense?
Yeah, it just probably would have worked out where Antonio would have stabbed, and it, you know.
Boy, there's just the essence of defeat
Yeah.
enveloping Antonio right now.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, he's fought hard for a couple of matches, too. He wants to win, too. I mean, the lackadaisical kind of way he approaches it, or the nonchalant, but we know he wants to win. He's obviously a warrior, kind of psycho, you know, animal kind of guy. So, I mean, you know, he's a competitor in his own right, and he's deflated right now.
Understandably, though, I think he feels as though he's played pretty well and that there's been a fairly uncooperative deck at times.
I think that's how he feels, and, you know, they'll probably play again. This match isn't over.
Well, he's
by the
already
way.
said he's going to automatically
Right.
challenge if he
We would have called
loses.
4 more pretty quickly.
No, it's good to know.
I don't even think Phil means that as a needle. He's
No.
just so dialed in.
Too many cards.
Oh. Sorry,
I don't think Antonio's going to love that.
Yeah, no
Oh,
problem.
wow.
Why wouldn't I have ace queen?
That wouldn't have been your hand, maybe. I don't know.
It would have been my hand. You got an extra card.
Yeah.
Made no difference. You got an extra card.
Boy, when you run bad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, nobody plays the loser better than me, buddy, so I've been there. But there is a little bit of woe is me dripping off of Antonio right now. It's the why nots and the comments. He does feel like he's gotten unlucky and he's steamed up, and it's all real. But, you know, at a point you have to weather the storm.
Check.
I mean,
There's 100K on the line
and,
here, Nick,
and the
he
glory,
has
and but just the now he's
double.
lost twice in a row, and he has to sit on it if it doesn't come in. I mean, yeah,
just one double,
Check.
and you've got a, you know,
one double
little
and you have a
wiggle room.
3-to-1 chip. I mean, for sure, one double and there's a
Raise
bit of
2,000.
wiggle, without a doubt.
Raise up to 4,000.
Oh man, this is just punishment here.
Yeah, this is getting real tilty, but okay.
And I think Antonio's feeling is these are not moves that Phil is apt to perform without actually hitting these flops.
Yeah, and I think Antonio sorry to cut you off. I
No.
think Antonio sort of feels like he's won more of the pots and gotten cooler in
Phil
the
has.
really big ones. No, that Antonio's won more
okay.
of the little
Got it.
ones maybe, and he's V-pipped higher, and he's stabbed more, and he's been more aggressive, but you know, may not tell the entire story. Phil's done a lot of cool things out there, but then when it comes down to the big pots, it's going to come down to the big pots a lot of the time. It far from tells the whole story, but it's yeah, he's struggling right now. He's deflated. It's as simple as that. He feels like it's not going his way.
All in.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, certainly hasn't. 9-4 off into the muck as Phil is now asking Antonio to commit to a hand and go with it. He's got that robe and the scythe.
Nope. Maybe he'll spin it up, Ollie. Maybe he will spin it up.
You know, I wouldn't mind just seeing at least one spin and then see how he navigates the waters from there. No, but
I think this
Call.
is going to get called. Dominacia is upon us.
Jack 10 against King
We
10.
got 21.
Even that nice hand Phil was a little snarky, alluding to the dominations. It didn't go Antonio's way today, if this is it, Ollie. Just didn't.
Well, it certainly rates to be it. As you see the percentages there, heavily in favor of Phil Hellmuth here, who has already taken down round 1 for 50,000. Here he is, 100K a man, poised to win round 2. Antonio committing to playing yet again in a third round for 200K a man. If it doesn't work out, 8-7 deuce, gut shot, straight draw, and one clean
Phil.
over for Antonio. Needs the 9
That was
or
fun.
the jack.
We battled today. You deserve the W. Pro fish can't lay down a hand. Just can't do it.
Not there on the turn. One pull
Thank you,
of the
Ray.
deck remaining.
Phil, I'll see you on the next one. Respect.
You have my respect, but I don't want to fist bump whatsoever.
Come on.
And
Oh,
it's
thank you.
official.
All right.
Phil Hellmuth defeating Antonio Esfandiari in round 2 of the High Stakes Duel.
Antonio even said it when, you know, he said you deserve it, and it almost felt like he meant it. He does. He played great today. Take it, sir. Well done.
Well, hats off to the 15-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner Phil Hellmuth, who feels like he's chipping away at that monkey on his back that has been Antonio Esfandiari for oh so long. But time will tell as these two will reconvene for a third edition of this heads-up battle. But until then, on behalf of our entire crew here in Las Vegas and my partner Nick Schulman, this is Ali Nejad saying so long, and we'll see you next time.